the charge for the Idaho State Bengals. The 6'4", 230-pound redshirt junior started 2 years ago, played off the bench in 2024. He's in shotgun. He's got two receivers stacked on top of each other to each side of the formation. And before the first play of the year, our first penalty as the Laundry comes onto the field. And that's a delay of game right off the bat. The referee Christian Watson announcing the call, and Idaho State knocked back 5 yards on the first penalty of the year.
And there you saw pre-snap the versatility of UNLV. They actually were showing a 3-4 and jumped into a 4-3. Like that quickly, they created some confusion for this Bengal offense.
Rebels with 4 down linemen. Idaho State in the same formation. Now Cook gets the snap off, drops back looking to pass. He swings right side along the far sideline. It's caught at the 39. What a diving grab by Damian Morgan on a 15-yard pickup. It's 1st and 10.
And the Bengals looking to go tempo. You mentioned that explosive play ability. Really going to take their chances down the field. They're on first down. They get a big connection for a first down.
Ball spotted at the Idaho State 41-yard line, heading right to left on the opening drive of the season. Cook's got a running back to his left. He drops back out of the shotgun, puts it in the belly on a draw. Some space up the middle, across the 50, into Rebel territory at the 45. Tackled on the far side, hash mark at the 40-yard line. Jaheim Joseph brought down Dason Brooks, and it's another first down play for the Bengals.
2 gashers right out the bat, and UNLV is not going to like that. The draw play there. Rebels clearly thinking pass. Got caught with their pants down on the draw play.
Dason Brooks, the running back, split to the right in the shotgun. 1 receiver to the right. That's Mike Shulikov. There are 3 receivers on the left side of the formation. 1st and 10 from the Rebel 39. Pass to the left side, caught on the hash mark, and down to the 33-yard line. Andrew Powdrell on the stop. And it's the first play that has not gone for a first down for the Bengals today. 2nd down and 5 to go. Ball going to be spotted at the 33-yard line, heading right to left. Bengals with 2 receivers wide right, 2 to the left. And the running back, Dason Brooks, on the left side of Cook in the shotgun. Cook calls for the snap, standing on the hash mark. On an RPO, will give it off to Brooks right side. He gets around Jake Pope, but he's tripped up at the line to gain. That's the 28. Pope bringing down Brooks, and they'll move him ahead after a gain of 5 for the first. So that'll be 1st and 10 from the Rebel 28-yard line. Ball going to be snapped from the right side hash. Idaho State driving to get the season started. Shulikov, the lone receiver to the right. 3 more to the left. All by himself at the bottom of the formation is Julian Mason. On the snap, rolling right. Cook standing on the numbers, looking far sideline. Airs it up to the boundary, but it's short in front of the feet of Mike Shulikov. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Rebels able to get Cook off the spot there just a little bit. Rolls out to the right. Can't find it over receiver. Great job by the secondary staying attached. Really not giving him an option. Rebels been on their heels for most of this drive. A couple of successful plays now. Look and see if they can get dug in and tighten things up here in the red zone.
This is a Rebel defense that allowed 21 points per game in 2024. 2nd down and 10. Cook takes the snap, looks left on a screen play. It's Burton, a wide receiver across the 20-yard line, inside the 15. He is tripped up by Jake Pope after another first down gain. A gain of 16 yards brings the Bengals into the red zone. They are down to the 12-yard line of UNLV on the left side hash mark. They come out in the no huddle, 12:35 to go in the first quarter, still no score. The opening drive of the game for the Idaho State Bengals. Cook fumbles the snap, dives on top of it at the 15-yard line. They'll spot him back at the 17. Just a miscommunication on a handoff to Brooks.
Went to try to go to that draw play, but this time going across the body of the running back. Just a bad mesh point. Fortunate there to able to get back on it. Rebels were right in the vicinity, but another negative play for the Bengals, make it 2nd and 15.
So the clock stops with 12:08 to go. Now it resets as the ball is spotted. 2nd down and 15. Ball spotted on the 17-yard line. Cook on play action, rolling right. It's an option play. He flips it to Brooks. He gets outside the hash mark. He spins off a 1-tackler. He's down inside the 10 before he is brought down. He ripped right around LaTerrence Welch and was stopped after a gain of 8.
These are the kind of things that you don't want to see as a head coach, is the poor tackling. There's great effort, guys flying to the football, but wrapping up and finishing the tackle is something you got to do, especially early on in the season.
Osei Agbase had a hand on him as well. Brooks breaking 2 tackles there. Big time 3rd and 6 to go. Ball spotted at the 8-yard line. The Bengals can get a first down without scoring. 3 receivers, trip formation to the left. Shulikov by himself to the right. Cook dropping back from the shotgun. He's pressured. He airs it up to the near sideline. It's incomplete. The intended target, Damian Morgan, was alone in the corner, but aired out on the throw, and it's 4th down. Here comes the field goal unit for Idaho State.
Miscommunication out of 3-by-1. We call it a Dino concept. The two outside receivers run in breaking routes. The number 3 runs a corner. It's a tough concept to guard in the red zone. Rebels fortunate that one was a misconnection. And fortunate now after that drive, an impressive opening drive by the Bengals, that they were able to hold them to a field goal attempt here after what was a very productive drive.
So the ball spotted on the 8-yard line, makes it a 35-yard kick. Trey Sinatra with the kick, it's up and good. And Idaho State from the far side hash mark makes it a 3-0 game. The Bengals take the lead, and with 11 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Rebels will have a chance here as we keep the game rolling. So the Rebels bent and then broke a little bit at the end, but holding the Bengals to 3 points. Nothing to worry about here early after how that drive started.
Yeah, I think you want to get some kinks out early. You want to figure some things out about your team and clean some things up. And again, it's the first time being out there in a game situation as a unit with a coach. Communication probably was bigger of an issue. Also, the initial game plan and what they wanted to show maybe wasn't that tricky and that complicated. So as they get more comfortable on the field, I think you'll see a more intense version of the Rebel defense. But holding them to 3 points is big. Now we get our first look at the Rebels offense.
A 10-play, 67-yard drive, taking 3 minutes and 46 seconds off the clock, ending in a 26-yard field goal for the Bengals. It is 3-0 Idaho State as UNLV gets set to return their first kickoff of the season. Jalen Glover, the running back out of Utah, split back by himself. We saw Jet Thomas take one to the crib in an early season game last year, and the Rebels going right back to the running backs in the kick return game.
Don't be surprised here. Special teams has to be a factor. You want it to be a positive factor for UNLV, but also look for it as an opportunity for the Bengals to try to create some chaos. So special teams has to be on their P's and Q's here.
Mason Lindbergh on to kick things off. The lefty kicker puts boot to ball, and the Rebels will have a chance offensively here. Jalen Glover with his heels on the goal line receives it, lets it go over the head and bounce through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So trailing 3-0. The Rebels will start their first drive of the season at their 25 with 11:14 to go in the quarter. And it looks like it'll be Anthony Calandria leading the troops onto the field for the opening drive.
Calandria, coming from Virginia, had plenty of experience there as he's matured quite a bit. And we'll see his energy, his charisma, his passion for the game is definitely what he plays with.
I'll tell you what, we were looking in the huddle, both Orji and Calandria on the field here for this opening play. Calandria split out to the left along with Troy Omere. And here's Alex Orji behind center, taking the snap, feeding Calandria. He'll pass it. He looks down the near sideline, and there's one up. It's incomplete on the other side of the field. He was looking for Jaden Bradley, but there's flags at the 50-yard line. He was covered by 3 different defenders. There was a lot of contact. Christian Watson, the referee, signaling a pass interference against Idaho State, and that's part of the game plan there for UNLV on that opening shot.
Yeah, he said both quarterbacks would play, but he didn't say they'd both play on the first play. So they're already using both quarterbacks here, and it looks like Orji is going to be the quarterback that remains on the field as Calandria heads to the sideline for this first down from the 40-yard line.
Nick Elksness, the tight end to the left. Varkey's Gums also in the game, motioning from the left to the right side of the formation. Orji out of the shotgun, takes the snap, rolls right, throws to the near sideline. That's complete. Troy Omire at the 45-yard line picks up 5 yards, and it's 2nd down and 5.
Just a little half roll out there, getting comfortable outside the pocket on the edges. 12 personnel, so there's plenty of space on the edges. Take what the defense gives you. Nice, easy 5-yard completion.
Omire and Bradley to the left. Both Elksness and Gums, the tight ends to the right, with Jet Thomas split off the left hip of Alex Orji. Wearing number 1, quarterback takes the snap, hands it off to Jet. He goes right, now to the left, across midfield, breaks a tackle, and is brought down by a shoestring in Bengal territory. Spot him down on the far hash at the 44-yard line. Gabe Tahir tripping him up.
That was an impressive run by Jaden. First touch of the year. Showed the vision, showed the explosion. Big time run, gets the Rebels into plus territory.
Jay Beasley into the game as the tight end. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left, and Thomas remains in a running back. Orji takes the snap with his heels at midfield. On a first down play, he'll take the snap and look to the right. It's complete to Omire at the 40. He cuts it inside the 35, down to the 32 near the near sideline. Tackled at the 31-yard line by Mike Lindsay and Rylan Leathers, combining on the stop after a pickup of 13.
There you see Orji again just taking what the defense gives him. Soft coverage on the edges. Number 1 guy on the outside. Take that all day. Moves the chains. Another first down.
In the pistol. Trips to the left. O'Meara by himself on the right side. Takes the snap, looks to the left, airs out a screen for Irvin. Irvin's in some space across the 20, inside the 15. He is pushed out of bounds on the far sideline at the Idaho State 12. There's the D'Angelo Irvin breakout we were waiting for.
And there you see the versatility of this offense again. A conventional pass attack out of the 12 personnel, play action rollouts, and then they go with the little guys on the edges. D'Angelo Irvin, nice, easy pitch and catch. Great blocking by the wideouts downfield, and he makes a play and gets the Rebels down inside the red zone.
19-yard pickup, sets down 1st and 12. First down at the 2-yard line if the Rebels can get there without scoring. They've got a bunch to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Orji hands it off to Thomas off the left side. He cuts it inside the 10, runs into a host of tacklers, spins towards the far boundary, and is eventually brought down at the 9-yard line of gain of 3. Mason Young and Taylor Tuioti combining on the stop.
I love the way Jaden he's developed as a running back. He always had the natural talent to do it, but you see now the patience and the vision and the understanding of when to just put your head down and get what you can. That's an example of that on a first down run.
2nd down and 7 to go. Ball spotted on the far hash on the 9-yard line. Quarterback takes the snap. Orji around the right side. Orji inside the 5. He dives to the end zone. He loses the ball. Idaho State's on it. Did he cross the plane before losing possession? It's a touchback on the field as Orji fumbles in the end zone. Mason Young punched it out, and the Rebels signaling touchdown on their end. This one will likely have to take a look at.
You have to see if he crossed the goal line before losing the ball. It's going to be reviewed. He went airborne and going to be close. I think the ruling on the field here would likely stand even if they look.
Back Brooks off the left tip of Cook. Here comes a man in motion. That's Duarte from right to left. On a swing pass, he'll take it. He catches it at the 32-yard line. He's pushed out by both Amaris Brown and Jake Pope. Ball out of bounds on the near sideline. Spotted at the 34. It'll be 2nd down and 6 upcoming. We'll say 2nd and 7. Beg your pardon. Little dart route there, and Duarte found some space. 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. The Bengals holding on to a 3-0 lead as they send a bunch trips formation to the right. One receiver by himself to the left. Cook takes the snap on 2nd down. He pulls it back on the play action, fires a slant over the middle. That's caught by Ian Duarte. That's past the line to gain. He is down at the 45-yard line. Call it a gain of 9 before he was brought down.
Taking advantage of the space created by the formation there. The bunch spread out wide. It's hard to get up and press a receiver when he's in a bunch formation, and that's exactly what he did there on the RPO. Pope was right there at the point of contact. Couldn't probably defend it any better. Just trying to get that ball up. But another first down for the Bengals.
Shulikov and Duarte to the left. That is Brown and Damian Morgan to the right. On 1st down and 10, ball snap. Cook looking to pass. Number 1 airs it out to the far sideline. He's looking deep. He's got a man, and it's caught by Shulikov. That's down to the 24-yard line. The 6'6" senior out of Boise just brought down a 35-yard completion.
And again, the pass game is what they're built on. They're going to take their shots, and there's just good coverage, but a better effort on the offense. Good offense will always beat good defense, and that's an example of it there. This pass attack is potent, and they're going to make no secrets about trying to take their shots. And right now, those shots are keeping them in this ballgame and really got the Rebel defense on their heels.
Cook already 7 out of 9 passing for 101 yards. That last one got him over the century mark. They've got a 1st and 10 from the far side hash mark heading right to left. Ball spotted at the UNLV 21-yard line. Cook out of the shotgun, takes the snap, pulls it back on the play action again. Shulikov catches it on a slant at the 15. He is upended violently by Jaheim Joseph after a gain of 6. He tackled him by the ankles.
I think it's very hard to find anything positive for Rebel defense right now because they're on the heels. But one of the things I will say is there's not a lot of yards after catch. The defenders are in the area. It's not like blown coverages are leading to this. It's just that a very effective pass game is being efficient right now.
From the 15-yard line, it's 2nd and 4. Cook throws it left. Shulikov throws it back to the right. It's caught by Cook, the quarterback. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He gets to the pylon. He scores. On a screen double pass. Jordan Cook with the first receiving touchdown of his career. And Shulikov, who brought down the big chunk play as a wideout with his first career touchdown pass. Shulikov aired it out, and Cook settled underneath. He had nothing but green in front of him when he caught it on the far sideline. Back out for an extra point is Trey Sinatra. Ryan Carter on the snap. Gabe Russo on the hold. And they're still getting things set up here on the extra point. But for the time being, it is 9-0. As the snap's good, the hold is down, and the kick is up and right through the middle. 10. Yeah, Alex Orji took every snap on that opening drive. He didn't throw every pass as he had that one handoff to Anthony Calandria, who threw it. But we'll see what kind of a look the Rebels come out with offensively in their second drive, as they hope to gain the same yards, but with one more included for the touchdown. Here's the kick from Lindbergh, a high end-over-end kick received by Jalen Glover in the end zone. That'll take a bounce out of the back of the black turf, and UNLV starts at their own 25-yard line again. We'll see if it's Orji or Calandria here in drive 2, Caleb.
And again, the positive you take, you move the ball effectively. Outside of the trick play that you started things off with, all positive plays from the offense, clean operationally. So we'll see if they continue much of the same. And just, again, like you said, finish in the end zone. Looks like Calandria will be out here for the second series of this ball game.
Kevon Lee also in at running back. Day-Day Reynolds into the game for the first time. Calandria in the shotgun with two receivers to the right. He's got a tight end and a man out wide to the left. On play action, Calandria is going to run it. Fakes right now, cuts up the middle. He's able to pick up just a couple. Tackled down at the 28-yard line, spotted for a gain of 3 on his first carry.
Read option there. Calandria decided to keep it. Gets positive yards. A little loose with the ball out there on the edges. Going to clean that up as things go on. I'm sure you have an earful about it, but the Rebels back up to the line quickly.
2nd and 7 from the 28. Lee off the right hip of the quarterback, Anthony Calandria. The former Virginia Cavalier hands it off to Lee off the left side. He is contacted the moment he got the ball, but he's able to rumble, bumble, and stumble his way ahead for 3 before he was brought down by Taylor Tuioti. 3rd down and 4 upcoming from the 31. And the Rebels get back on the line quickly. Trying to get something started here in their second drive from scrimmage, heading left to right. 2 receivers to each side. As Marquise Gums now motions into the tight end spot on the left. 3rd down and 4 to go. Calandria with 4:50 to go in the quarter takes the snap. He looks left. He swings it to Lee. The running back has it at the 30. He is upended. Tripped up quickly by Ryan Leathers. The safety coming up, and the redshirt freshman brings up 4th down. Nothing going there for the Rebels. A 3 and out after going the length of the field the first drive.
Rebels there just going against man-to-man, trying to get their running back in space. Right call. The ball's a little bit behind Lee, who had to stop his feet to get in. Once you stop your feet, the pursuit is able to get there before you get going. So Rebels go 3 and out on their second offensive possession.
Andrew McElwain to snap. The Aussie, Cam Brown on to punt. His first collegiate punt is a high end-over-end kick. Grabbed by Robert Freeman on a fair catch.
Multiple variety of pressures that we're expecting to see from Gunther throughout the season is supposed to generate. So we'll see if they dip into the pressures bag a little bit more, but really just tighter coverage and better tackling from the defense.
To Nishe Adalea, Waisali Muavesi, Cohen Fuller, and Chief Borders, the 4 down linemen for UNLV. Jordan Cook takes the snap, gives it off to the running back Brooks. He breaks a tackle on the right side. He's across the 30. He is brought down at the 33-yard line. A gain of 11 for a 1st down. And Dason Brooks, who started as a linebacker last year at Idaho State, changed to running back and led the team in rushing in 2024 on the carry.
Got a stoppage here. Fish was blowing things dead. Not sure exactly what happened, but quick stoppage. They're trying to sort something out.
Looking over at the UNLV sideline. And running off the field, Kumwela Kaehua. And they'll make a substitution. So they're trying to get a younger guy in.
I'm not sure exactly what caused his stoppage. I don't know if there's something about his uniform that was legal as he tried to come in, but ready for plays given. Here's 1st down.
Justin Flo and Marcel McDuffie, the 2 linebackers in the game. It is 1st and 10 for Idaho State. Handoff goes up the middle. Brooks runs right into the chest of Justin Flo, who rips him down after a gain of 4. We were excited to get eyes on Justin Flo, and he shows off why there.
Yeah, had some time coming in the fall to get the playbook down before he got with the 1s and 2s, but he got there in quick order, and now he's on the field in his first game, actually making his presence there. A violent tackle for a short gain.
2nd down and 6. Ball on the Idaho State 36-yard line. Just a couple of paces off the right side hash. Cook in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looking to throw. He looks right. He airs it up on an out route. That's caught at the 40 and brought down is Damian Morgan. He's going to be about an inch short of the line to gain. 3rd down and maybe a yard upcoming with 3 minutes and counting to go in quarter number 1.
Rebels have dialed up pressure the last couple of plays. Going quick count here for the Bengals.
Bengals get the snap off. They hand it off up the middle. And as Brooks was tackled across the line to gain, there was a flag on the field in the area of a false start. There's the dulcet baritones of our referee, Christian Watson, and you heard him. The entire offense not set. That's a mental mistake here in game one.
And the Bengals trying to really catch the Rebels in transition there, getting a quick count, just trying to get that first down, and weren't quite set. Backs him up, makes it a 3rd down and medium here.
So instead of 3rd and less than a yard, it is now 3rd down and 6. Ball on the far side hash at the 38, make it the 37.5-yard line. Cook to pass on 3rd down, throws it over the middle of the field. It's caught by Morgan. He is brought down at the 42-yard line. He's a yard short. And Idaho State not wasting any time. They go right back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to go for it here on 4th down in the yard. Cook takes the snap, hands it off to Brooks. He's met in the backfield. He's brought down to Nishe Adalea. Makes the 4th down stop, and the Rebels turn the Bengals over on downs. Justin Flo also in on the tackle.
For the first time, the Rebel fans have really something to cheer about here from the defense. That's a big-time stop. Bengals again tried to go with a quick snap, just going with an inside zone concept. Rebels got lined up and got ready. Great penetration by that front 4, making that play in the backfield. And now the Rebel offense will take over in plus territory, best starting field position. And it looks like Calandria will come back out for his 2nd possession of the ballgame.
A short field for UNLV. They trail 10-0 here with 2:28 to go in the first. Ball on the Idaho State 40-yard line on the far side hash mark. 2 receivers left, a tight end and a receiver to the right. The handoff is up the middle to Jalen Glover. He cuts it off the right tackle and is knocked down after a gain of 2 yards. A gang tackle on the outside from the Bengals.
Well, the Bengals are doing a good job of stopping the run, or at least threatening the run, with just 6 in the box. And that way they're able to occupy the coverage lanes to keep the passing game. So the right read is to give the ball and try to run it against this 6-man box, but Rebels unable to find the room so far.
2nd down and 9 as the clock strikes 2 minutes. Calandre airs it up to the left. Omire's got it at the 35. He is brought down by Noah Kaleke. He was holding on to a shoestring and spotted 2 yards short of the line to gain. There is Troy Omire, the big possession receiver out of Arizona State.
Again, just taking advantage of the off coverage there. Nice timing, getting the ball out. A little loose with it there with the ball security, but a nice pickup on 2nd down makes 3rd down very manageable.
With the clock rolling at 1:35 and counting in quarter number 1. 3rd and 2 from the Idaho State 32-yard line. They are right on the border of field goal range here. Calandria takes the snap. The give is to Glover. Glover off the right side. He meets the pile at the 30. Keeps the legs chugging. And he is brought down right around the 1st down marker. The Rebels offensively think that they've got the 1st down as they try to pull some bodies off the pile. A helmet goes flying as well.
It looked like one of the Bengal players lost their helmet as a result of that scrum, so he'll be allowed to stay on the field. It looks like the Rebels will have the 1st down. Official having some discussion with the player who lost his helmet. They are going to make him leave the field, so they're going to pause briefly for that. Rebels are back on the line and ready to go here on their 1st down.
UNLV picks up their 5th 1st down of the game. 1:15 to go in quarter number 1. 1st and 10 from the Bengal 30-yard line. Calandria to pass. He's looking down the field. He's flushed straight up the middle. He'll take it himself. He runs it to the far sideline. He gets a man outside the 20-yard line. He is pushed out of bounds inside the red zone at the 18. A 12-yard scamper for Anthony Calandria.
12-yard scamper, 1st down, moves the chains, has a smile on his face. I think in film he's going to review that and think he missed a touchdown. He had the middle post open, but he gets the 1st down. Rebels have something to cheer about once again. The offense is back rolling.
Keyshawn Lyons and JoJo Earl, the 2 receivers to the left. Omire by himself on the right. Now the tight end Elksnis moves to the left, and the handoff goes up the middle to Glover. Glover wrapped up near the line of scrimmage. Brought down after a gain of 2 by Bronson Childs, the junior out of Kennewick, Washington.
Jump cut there to find the lane. Just couldn't get back to his feet to explode through it before the backside pursuit is there for Glover, but a nice gain on 1st down. Again, these are little jabs that an offense likes to establish so that some of the things that are play actions off of that can open up later in the ballgame.
With the ball just outside the 15-yard line, Calandria takes the snap, hands it off left side. Off the guard goes Jalen Glover. He is met by a host of Bengals tacklers, including Taylor Tuioti and Mason Young, the safety coming up in the box. They'll give him a gain of 2, and it's 3rd and 5.
And it's not very complicated run schemes, not very tricky up front as far as the blocking schemes. If we wind down the first quarters, Rebels have been very vanilla with their run game, but that'll be the end of the first quarter.
Lets the quarter roll out, and we'll be back with quarter number 2. It's Idaho State on top of UNLV.
Excited about things, but I think we need to see them finish, and they have an opportunity here after this 3rd down.
Rebels heading right to left here in quarter number 2. Calandria takes the snap, screen pass to JoJo Earl. The wide receiver on the near sideline makes the catch, but he is tackled for no gain, maybe a yard. And the Bengals come up big on third down. Tuioti and Maka Tuakoi combining on the stop. And it looks like the field goal unit's going to come on for the first time.
And the Rebels will have to settle for a field goal, trying to go to the screen, just get their athletes the ball in space. Unfortunately, the jailbreak screen just didn't materialize fast enough for JoJo Earls, who was trying to trust his blocking to get back to the inside. Unfortunately, wasn't there. Drive stalls. Rebels will come out and attempt this field goal to make it a one-possession game.
It's going to be a 31-yard field goal. Andrew McElwain to snap, Connor Meltzer to hold, and Caden Costa with his first kick coming from the left side hash as a UNLV Rebel. The snap is good, the hold is down, and the first kick is no good. No good, wide left, and the Bengals lead is still 10-0.
Really, the power was there. Maybe overkicked it. You heard the thud off his foot from here. That ball almost cleared the All-State net, but it wasn't accurate. It went just hooked left on him there. Actually never really even made it past that left upright. Right over the top, and they ruled it a missed field goal there. So Rebels come up empty again.
So that's 3 drives for UNLV offensively. A fumble at the goal line, a 3-and-out rather, and a missed field goal. And now Idaho State's got the ball at the UNLV 20-yard line, 1st and 10, with 80 yards to go until pay dirt. 14-10 to go in the first half. Jordan Cook with the field flip leads the troops from left to right. He'll take the snap, fake on a screen, and hand it off on the draw. Cutting up the middle is Robert Freeman, the 4th, and the former Utah State Aggie tackled by Blessing Aluwalu Tuiolomotu after a gain of 7.
Again, delayed handoff there. Rebels lose contain, washing down the edge defender and able to bounce out around the outside with a lot of yardage. Rebels respecting that pass game, getting gashed a little bit here on those first down runs.
4-2-5 personnel, Aluwalu Tuiolomotu and Marcel McDuffie, the 2 linebackers in the game. 3 receivers to the left, Shulikov to the right for Idaho State. Cook wants to change the play. Quarterback barks out an audible, now takes the snap on 2nd and short. He throws over the middle. It is knocked down. Duarte, the intended target. Tremendous pressure there from Amaris Brown, playing the nickelback role today.
And again, the Rebels secondary on these pass attempts have been tight in coverage. I mentioned earlier, not a lot of yak for these receivers after the catch. So we'll see if they can continue that, but there's the first real pass breakup that we've seen from the secondary in the tight coverage, and it brings up a quick 3rd down for the Bengals.
3rd and a long 2 from the 28-yard line. Ball spotted on the near side hash mark. On 3rd down, Cook takes the snap. Hands off, no, keeps it to himself, cuts it to the right, runs into a defender. Trey Fulton lowers the shoulder, and they'll spot him right at the 30-yard line. And the spot's going to predicate the first down. They're going to give it to him.
I thought it was a close call there because it looked like Cook surrendered himself just short of the 30, but they gave him the forward progress of a runner. So tough spot there for the Rebels, but just enough for Cook, who hasn't kept the ball much in terms of being a runner. But there he keeps it, gets what he needs right before getting kind of punished there at the 30-yard line. But a first down for the Bengals, new set of downs.
He'll take the punishment if it results in the new set of chains. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, and once again, Shulikov by himself to the right. Motioning from the top of the formation, that's Damian Morgan. Cook drops back to pass. He airs it up to the far sideline. Looking for the outside, it's Brown on the catch, it's intercepted. Amaris Brown pulled that thing down like a center fielder, and the Rebels take over on a turnover.
That's a big-time play, big-time coverage. I think the confusion, Cook was anticipating man coverage. They dropped off into more of a zone look, and Brown actually took the deep half of the field there, so he ends up running that slot fade for the receiver. The receiver essentially gave up on the route because he felt like it was covered and there's no way he's throwing it, but Brown turns into essentially the intended receiver, creates a big-time turnover. Rebels now with another offensive opportunity with great starting field position.
They've got the ball at their own 36, 1st and 10, with 12:40 to go in quarter number 2. It's Anthony Calandria on the field, heading from right to left. He gives it off to Jet Thomas up the middle. Thomas runs into a defender at the 40, moves the pile a yard. He was eventually brought down by Mason Young, preseason Big Sky defender out of Salt Lake City.
Great twitch, great run, good trust by Jayden there again, trusting the blocks on that counter play, picking his way through the hole. Nice gain on first downs to get the Rebel ahead of the chains.
The line from left to right is Will Thomas, Malik McGowan, Reed Williams, Alani Makahele, and James Faminu. Big-time right tackle out of both Houston and Temple. 2nd down and 5 to go from the 41. Clock at 12 minutes and rolling in quarter number 2. Thomas motions from the backfield to the left. Calandria on a designed run, keeps it himself off the right side, cuts it up the middle. He's across the 50. He is tripped up in Bengal territory all the way down to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 16 on a designed run.
And again, maybe because of his stature, people underestimate him as a runner. That's a design quarterback run, a play that you can run with either Alex Orji or Calandra. There he makes some wiggle room, gets the first down, and into plus territory for the Rebel offense.
Calandra with 500 yards over 2 seasons rushing at Virginia. 1st and 10 on the other side of the field. He drops back to pass. He steps up. He airs it out off the back foot. It is caught on a dive. What a grab by Bradley at the 29-yard line. A pickup of 14 moves the chains.
Great job finding some space in the back end. I think Calandra may have had him initially from a clean pocket, but decided to step up and move the pocket slightly. And Bradley stayed with the play, stayed open, made himself available to the quarterback for another first down conversion.
Ball on the right hash at the 29-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Rebels as they try to score for the first time, trailing 10-0 here in the second quarter. Calandra flips Jet Thomas from his right hip to his left hip. Now we'll take the snap. And he'll hand it off to Jet right up the middle. He follows McGowan through the right side of the line, ran into his own blocker, and then a defender. Tackled down at the 24-yard line by Davion Ross, but there's a penalty flag on the far side. Right by the original line of scrimmage. Here's the referee, Christian Watson. Lonnie Makahele picks up the penalty, and he's got an interesting backstory back at UNLV after a year at UCLA.
Yeah, transferred to UCLA, didn't really like what he saw there and came back home. So he gets called for the hold there, as I'm sure he'll argue that the defender was falling down and he just assisted him to the ground. But those holding penalties are the ones that are backbreakers. Assessed 10 yards, and now 1st and 20 for the Rebel offense.
It's all the way back to the 39-yard line from the pistol. Calandra hands it off to Thomas up the middle. He's got some space at the 30. He's all alone at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Scarlet and Gray. Jet Thomas from 29 yards out gets the scoring started for UNLV in 2025.
Jet Thomas is in the preseason list on a lot of different awards across this nation. The secret's out. Jaden Thomas is an explosive running back who's looking to take off this season and make it his best as a Rebel so far. He's hungry to get back to the top and finish things off. Arguably the best running back in the conference.
UNLV with 10:34 to go in the second quarter. Big drive there for the Rebels. Let's see what they can do on the defensive side. Starting to settle things in here a bit as Caden Costa is going to put boot to ball and kick this one to Robert Freeman, standing on the Idaho State goal line. He'll grab it at the 1-yard line. He cuts it to the near side from the hash mark, gets to the 20. He's at the sideline to the 30, and Justin Flo throws a shoulder into him and celebrates after knocking him out of bounds. That's what we've expected from Justin Flo, and now we get a chance to see it.
He's a big hitter, and he plays with emotion for sure. An intense linebacker, just eager to get him more opportunities on the field. They're on special teams, flying down, making a big pop, and letting the Bengals hear about it. But still, good starting field position here for the Bengals. A generous spot up past the 35, getting them to the 37-yard line.
They're heading from left to right. 10:28 to go in the second quarter. Ball spotted on the 37-yard line on the near side of the field. Trips to the left. Shulikov by himself on the right. Cook takes the snap, fakes the screen, hands it off. That's Freeman up the middle. He's into some space at the 50. He gets it into Rebel territory before he's contacted. He is brought down at the 34-yard line of UNLV. That was Marcel McDuffie on the stop along with Amaris Brown.
Again, the Rebel defense is getting split by this delayed handoff. They're reacting to the potential of the screen pass on the outside, and that kind of naturally splits the defense, and they're taking advantage of it for sure. Nobody touched him until 20 yards down the field.
31-yard pickup. Ball now to the UNLV 33-yard line with under 10 to go. Cook rolls to the right. He looks over the middle, fires a line drive, in and out of the hands of the receiver at the 10-yard line. He had Damian Morgan alone, but led him just a bit too far.
Again, they're doing the same thing with their protection scheme that they're doing with the ground game. They're using leverage rather than force to create space, and their little half rollout created. The tackle just kind of allows for the defensive end to go inside and invites him to the inside rush and then pins him on the inside hip.
Cook's now 10 for 15 with 117 yards and an interception along with the receiving touchdown. On the running back screen, he'll throw it to the right side for Freeman. Spins around one tackler at the 40. First contacted by Jaheim Joseph. Waisale Muavesa eventually ripping him down. And that play goes for a loss of 6. 3rd and 16 upcoming.
The timing on the screen disrupted. Again, the edge pressure. Blessing Alawalu Tuiolomotu able to get into the face of Cook and force an inaccurate throw. And again, once the receiver stops their feet, that flow on defense can get there and create that negative play.
Big 3rd and long from outside field goal range is 3rd and 16 from the 39-yard line. Cook motions Freeman, the running back, out to the left. Now brings him back as the Bengals will change the play. There's 3 receivers left. Man coverage across the board. Rebels in a press all the way in the defensive backfield. Cook drops back, looks over the middle of the field. He is pressured. He throws it incomplete to Shulikov at the 35-yard line. There were 2 defenders in the face of the quarterback. Certainly impacted the throw.
And there again, we talked about the pressure that needs to get in Cook's face to get him off the spot. And there's an example of it there. He couldn't find an open receiver because of the pressure on the back end. And then the pressure finally able to get home and get in his face and disturb his rhythm as a passer. And we'll see if that continues as a trend. I'll say this, a lot of confusion after the plays from UNLV. Players looking at each other and trying to figure out where they went wrong. Some things on the communication front that the Rebels have to clean up defensively.
Gabe Russo, the former Auburn Tiger, on to punt. He kicks a high arching kick to the near sideline. D'Angelo Irvin Jr. back. It takes a bounce at the 2-yard line. It is volleyball spiked back into the field of play.
But that's a touchback because you can't touch the ball from the end zone. If you've already established yourself in.
Idaho State leads the Rebels 10-7, but UNLV's got a fresh set of downs. They'll take over, heading from right to left from the Idaho State 20. And it looks like it'll be Alex Orji out there to lead the troops. This is his first snap since fumbling in the end zone in the opening drive. Orji's going to lead the troops out, heading on the near sideline. Ball spotted on the left side hash at the 20. He's got a running back to each side. He gives it off to the right to Jet Thomas. Thomas makes a man miss at the 20, gets to the outside, drags a defender with him. He was bringing Rylan Leathers along for the ride. He is stopped after a gain of 4, 2nd and 6 upcoming from the 26.
Oh, inverted read option with the quarterback as the dive guy, essentially, and Jaden trying to get around the edges. 1 block away, really, from springing that. I think the Rebels had what they wanted dialed up, but the individual effort there by Jaden makes it a positive gain anyway. 4 yards on first down. You'll take that all day, especially as the offensive-minded, patient coach of Dan Mullen.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right. That's Tayshawn Lyons along with Nick Elsknis, the tight end, on the right side of the formation. On 2nd down and medium, Orji takes the snap with his toes in the 20. He puts it in the belly of Thomas, now pulls it back, spins left around a pressure. Flags flying everywhere in the area of holding. Orji airs it up down the near sideline, way out of bounds. There's a separate set of flags near midfield in the defensive backfield as well.
Looks like it's going to end up being offsetting penalties. Look like the back end holding on the defense, but also holding on the escape from Alex Orji, avoiding the pressure. Looks like the offensive lineman, guilty of a hold as well. So these will likely be offsetting penalties, replaying it down. There's a conference going on around the 30-yard line trying to sort things out. A lot of laundry here. Rebels only penalized once so far offensively with that holding call early, which is something you can maybe say you'll hang your hat to in the first game of the season. But here's the first set of laundry that has some conversation around it. Extended conversation at that. We'll see what their discussion results in.
I mean, there was at least 4 flags and a hat on the field as well. The captain fired his hat down, and here's Christian Watson.
Offsetting fouls on the play. Holding. Defense, number 30. Personal foul. Rough to the passer, number 10. Holding. Offense, number 66. Those fouls will offset or repeat 2nd down.
So not quite an eye for an eye. There were 2 flags on Idaho State there. And it offsets. That's Christian Watson, the referee, making the announcement.
Yeah, so you, at the end of the day, both get to just reset as teams, right? You get all your penalties out in one play, and hopefully this one isn't impeded by laundry as well. But I think the Rebels actually end up winning there. Holding calls, as they are called, usually are drive killers for offenses. So 2nd and 6 now. We reset things.
Austin Boyd in at right tackle, Faminu on the left side. Orji on the design run, takes it off the right side of the line, gets to the 30, spins around 2 defenders, and is thrown down at the first down marker by Taylor Tuioti, the linebacker. But he's able to pick up 6. He crosses the line to gain, and across the threshold, it's a first down.
And there's what people maybe have anticipated seeing from Orji, that physical, bruising style of running, similar to Cam Newton in his stature. He's going to punish guys when they get to the point of contact.
2 rushes for 15 yards so far tonight for Orji. He's back out there with Thomas, the running back, off his left hip from the shotgun. He'll take the snap. He hands it off up the middle. Thomas cuts it to the right side. Gets around 2 defenders. Jukes a man out of the 35. He's at the 40. He's at the 50. No one to beat. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, 5. Touchdown, Jet Thomas. A 70-yard rush. And the Rebels lead 14-10 pending the extra point.
Jaden Thomas is clear for takeoff. Great blocking at the point of attack. Block a few, juke a few, run through a few. And then it's a foot race to the end zone, and we've seen in the past, Jayden Thompson is not going to be caught from behind. This is some tough sledding from Jayden Thomas, separating himself as one of the elite running backs in this Rebel program. Second rushing touchdown of the season. He's off and running.
Ramon Villegas on to attempt the extra point. Snap, hold, kick, all good. And on the longest rush of Jayden Thomas's career, a 70-yard touchdown puts UNLV on top 14-10 with 7:12 to go in the quarter. With all the talk about the quarterbacks and a lot of the explosiveness on the offense, Caleb, who would have thought Jet Thomas would be the story as far as the scoring early on?
Obviously, Jet would have thought, and he's had a different focus about him this offseason. He's been one of the most committed players in this Rebel program. And this goes back to his recruitment, trusting UNLV, one of his only scholarship offers, staying true to that commitment after his freshman year when he was a hot commodity on the transfer portal market. Then after last year, with the coaches that left, it was clear and obvious that he would be one of the guys that would be targeted again in the transfer portal. He has stayed true to his commitment to UNLV, and he is determined to leave his mark on this program and to get the job done for this program, the program that gave him a chance, and he's taken full advantage of it here to start this campaign. Just a junior, plenty of left in his legs, and he's showing what it looks like when he's healthy early on in the season. 2 explosive runs for touchdowns to really wake this crowd up and get the Rebel energy where it needs to be.
That last drive, 3 plays, 80 yards, taking a minute and 38 seconds off the clock. That 70-yard rush for Jet Thomas, his second of the game. And again, the longest rushing of his career, touchdown or otherwise. Thomas got into space and was off to the races. And the Rebels lead it for the first time. It is 14-10. And here's Caden Costa to get us back underway on the kickoff. A high-end over-end kick through the back of the end zone. And a touchback will put Idaho State with the ball on their 25-yard line. And for the first time today, the Rebel defense out there with the lead.
And there's a late flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be one of the Bengals with some extracurricular activity. Got caught there.
After the play, we're offsetting on sportsmanlike conduct fouls. Number 22 of Idaho State, number 36 of UNLV. So both players first in sportsmanlike conduct fouls of the game. The next one, they will be ejected.
So they're offsetting. There's some jawing going on back and forth there. I think that's Flo that was guilty of it with UNLV. He's been fiery and letting the Bengals know about when he's laying the wood and making those hits. The Bengals starting to feel it, getting a little caught up with their emotions. The officials, I think, do the right thing and get both players, but it doesn't penalize either team on that initial one. But everybody's on notice now. Tighten things up. Make sure we keep it in between the whistles. But the Bengals now feeling the momentum shift to the Rebels' favor. They'll start this offensive drive from the 25.
4-2-5 defense for the Rebels. Justin Flo is on the field. Cook takes the snap, looking to the near sideline, throws it on the out route intended for Shulikov. That is incomplete. Good coverage there by LaTerrence Welch.
And again, I talked about it earlier. You're seeing the coverage on the back end start to tighten up as the Rebels are getting more comfortable with the scheme and the attack of the Bengals. And you see these windows shrinking, and that's kind of the result. These last couple of pass attempts have been broken up. Great defense up there by the secondary.
Second down and 10 from the 25-yard line. 7:08 with the clock stopped in quarter number 2. Cook looks right, now puts it in the belly of the running back. He is hammered behind the line of scrimmage. Kamela Kaihua out of Hawaii brought him down for a loss of 3.
And again, we talked about communication, getting on the same page. What you were seeing was gashing plays. There were a lot of miscommunication. Rebels getting caught out of position. But as they settle down and start to figure out how this offense is attacking, they've adjusted, and that's what you're seeing here on this possession.
Second tackle for loss today for UNLV. Third down and 13 from their own 22-yard line. Cook on 3rd and long, dropping back to pass. Looks at the near sideline, slings one to the boundary. It's in and out of the hands of Burton. Big time hit, knocked the ball loose. That's Jaheim Joseph, and penalty flags flying everywhere afterwards.
There was an unnecessary taunt there by UNLV after the big hit. Obviously, you want to be fired up, but you can't stand over the receiver and give that illusion anyway. You gifted him 15 yards there and a first down. So
rolling on the field, the incomplete pass. After the play, a sportsmanlike conduct. UNLV, number 3. The 15-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. By rule, automatic first down. That's the player's first and sportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
And you hear the crowd, they don't agree with the call, but you said it, partner. You cannot stand over an opponent like that.
And it's the intensity was fine. They're not saying that anything was a legal hit. Everything was fine about it, but the rule, the letter of the law for the officials, you can't stand over and taunt. If he does that same yell in the middle of the field by himself, it's all good.
So that penalty gives a first down to Idaho State. They'll hand it off to the right side. That's Brown cutting inside the 40-yard line. He is upended, and there is some more pushing and shoving after the play, but on a gain of 6, it'll bring up 2nd down and 4. Both sides getting a little chippy towards the half.
And again, the things that can hurt UNLV, I think they're, talent-wise, they're a better team here, but the things that can hurt you are self-inflicted ones. Not just the turnovers, but penalties like that unsportsmanlike conduct that give new life to a Bengal offense. New set of downs, and now they found some production.
Bengals near midfield at their own 43, 2nd down and 4 from the near side hash mark. Cook to pass. He's flushed out right by Justin Flo. He gets around Chief Borders, and from his own sideline, airs it up, incomplete. And a couple of receivers in the area, but he was forced out of bounds nearly on his own before the throw.
I tell you, I'd hate to be the running back who has to step up and stop Justin Flo on a blitz. He got absolutely obliterated. Flo playing like a freight train right now, runs right through that running back's block, gets Cook out of the pocket. Rebels find themselves now defensively with another 3rd down opportunity. We're able to get off the field in previous attempts. We'll see if they can do it here on 3rd and short.
3rd and 4, 5:46 to go in quarter number 2. Cook looking to convert on 3rd down for just the 2nd time today. He'll send a man in motion. That's Morgan from the near sideline, and a penalty flag in the area of a false start.
False start. Offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. Makes 3rd down.
That's the right tackle, striker Rashid. He saw the man in motion and jumped.
Yeah, the Rebels doing some shifting up front on the offensive line, or defensive line rather. Also, this Rebel crowd getting on their feet, making some noise on 3rd down, disrupting communication at the line of scrimmage. But here we go.
Instead of 3rd and 4, it's 3rd and 9. 3 receivers to the left. Shulikov by himself to the bottom of the formation. Cook ready to throw on 3rd and long. He's pressured, throws it over the middle. That's incomplete. Over the shoulder of Jonah Burton. And here comes the Idaho State punt team with 5:42 to go in the quarter.
And Burton going across the middle there with gator arms. I think he's seeing some of the contact. Looked like Cook just trying to get rid of it as well. An opportunity there for a big-time collision. Wise decision to let off, but Rebels get off the field on 3rd down, force another punt. And it looks like the defense has definitely settled into a rhythm here. Momentum has shifted. They figure something out on the sideline with the calm presence of Paul Gunther. Steve Cofield told us earlier that he was very, very relaxed in the face of what was a 10-0 deficit. Looks like he figured some things out for sure.
D'Angelo Irvin back to receive the punt. It's a high, short kick from Gabe Russo. Irvin waves for the fair catch, grabs it on his knees, and it'll be spotted at the 17-yard line. That's where this Rebel offensive attack will take over. 257 yards of offense so far, 201 of them on the ground. This is a team that averaged 243 yards a game on the ground last year.
The ground game has been a staple for UNLV, even going back to the days of Tony Sanchez. The ground game is something that they've always taken pride in here in Las Vegas, and no different here with Dan Mullen. I know everybody's excited to see the spread and see the Showtime version of the spread offense, but the ground game is just as important. Calandria now back out on the field for the Rebels offensively.
Kevon Lee, the running back, split to his right. So far, Lee with 1 carry for 3 yards. Calandria hit in the backfield. He is crushed. Brought down by Noah Kalenke on the cornerback blitz.
And he didn't even see that pressure coming. He turned right into it. I thought maybe a potential for head-to-head, helmet-to-helmet contact. They're looking like he took that right in the chops. But a real big negative play. First sack of the ball game so far for this Rebel offense, and Calandria never saw it coming.
Ball moved all the way back to the Rebel 9-yard line. 5 minutes and counting in half number 1. 2nd down and 17 upcoming as Calandria takes the snap. On a design draw, he'll run it up the middle. He cuts it left to the 15, spins around a man, and is tackled at the 20. Mason Young, preseason All-Big Sky defender, brings down Calandria after a gain of 11, brings up 3rd and 8.
It's a good job with your internal clock, especially after you just took a hit. I think he may have had more time in the pocket to observe and take a look at things, but backed up near your own end zone, your internal clock speeds up a little bit. And there you get what you can on the ground, get the ball back to the original line of scrimmage or past it, make 3rd down a little more manageable.
3 receivers right. Idaho State in press coverage across the board. All by himself at the bottom of the formation is Dane Reynolds. Calandria to pass on 3rd and long. He's grabbed in the backfield, and he is brought down quickly by Cameron Willis. The Davidson transfer brings down Anthony Calandria. Sacked for the second time on the drive. And with 4:10 and counting to go, it's 4th and 17. The Rebels will punt.
And that's 2 off the left edge there. That's a 3-man rush, and that's just coming around the corner. Either Calandria's got to find the room to step up in that pocket, or the left tackle's got to give him a chance, right? You create certain depth with him, but he's just getting blown by around the edge, and you don't really have much time to throw, especially in trying to get it down the field for a 3rd and 8.
Cam Brown, the Aussie punter from the shadow of his own goalpost, gets one up. And back at midfield is Robert Freeman. He'll call for a fair catch. He catches it at the 50-yard line. And the Idaho State Bengals will start at midfield with 3:38 to go here in quarter number 2. So for UNLV, a bit of a breakdown on the offensive line there. And the defense really starting to be the ones that gain the momentum here.
And that was Will Thomas on that left side that gave up 2 sacks, essentially. And the first one may not have been on him. They brought an extra pressure off the edge. But in a 3-man rush, you've got to give your quarterback more time than that. Obviously, miscommunication, his expectations and what the quarterback was going to do. But 2 sacks out of 3 plays is not going to get it done, especially against an FCS opponent. You got to tighten things up on the line of scrimmage.
Idaho State on top of UNLV 14-10 with 3:38 to go in the second quarter. The Bengals will take the snap from the 50-yard line just above the UNLV logo. Cook to pass. He'll tuck it and run. He runs it to the right side. He gets back to the 50, tries to cut it back up the middle, but he is stopped for no gain by Marcel McDuffie. He was strafing along with him the whole way. A flag down in the backfield, however. Christian Watson, the referee, getting ready to tell us about the laundry.
Holding. Offense, number 51. 10-yard penalty. Man's first down.
Striker Rashid again, the right tackle who was a preseason all-conference pick for Idaho State. Called for his second penalty in a quick amount of time.
And the Rebels electing to accept that penalty, back him up to make him play from behind the chains here. 1st and 20. Doing things like that because you feel like a defense may have a beat on things, and creating yardage situations will allow you to unleash the pressures and really get after Cook in the pocket.
So now 1st down and 20 to go. Ball snapped from the Idaho State 40 on the far side. On a wide receiver screen, caught by Jonah Burton on the near sideline. He makes a man miss to the 50. He's in the Rebel territory at the 40. He is spun out of bounds by Marcel McDuffie, but he's marked out at the 43-yard line of UNLV. And a gain of 16 puts him right near the marker. And they pick up everything but 3. They'll give him 17 there. 2nd down and 3 upcoming. All spotted in Rebel territory at the 43 on the right side hash.
The previous play is under further review.
Looks like they're going to take a look at where the foot originally went out of bounds of Jonah Burton.
I think they got it right. He steps out right at the 43-yard line. Is where his foot meets the white turf. They're just making sure here. Bengals intentionally slow things down, trying to get extra yards, because it would have been a 1st down if he didn't step out. So obviously that makes a big difference in how you're going to call things as an offense going forward. But I think the answer to the Rebel pressures has been quick decision making, right? There's not these delayed extended handoffs. There's not really shots down the field being called here. But the Rebels have been gashed on the screens. Just a numbers game on the edges. 3 receivers versus 2 defenders. It's going to be tough, especially when that 3rd defender is coming from depth to make the play in space. And what you see from the cornerbacks and the guys who are taking on the blocks, you love that they're taking on the blocks and being aggressive, but you have to squeeze and constrict the lanes after you take the block on. It's one thing to just be a block magnet, but you want to make it a decision for the runner once he has the ball in his hand. Right now, the blocks are making contact and they're opening up the lanes that the receivers want, essentially. And the accuracy from Cook allows those receivers to catch it on the run and really get as much yards as they catch on those screen plays specifically. But again, I mentioned in the deep drop back pass game, the Rebels have been tight in coverage. They've tightened up some of the slippage, but again, giving up the chunk plays when maybe you should have had an opportunity to make it for a minimal gain, I think is something of concern going forward. But again, it's been cleaned up the last couple of series.
Please reset the game clock.
And I think this will stand as a spot on the field.
Was no foul in the previous play.
They're going to adjust the game clock to 3 minutes and 21 seconds, putting 16 seconds back on. A close shave instant replay brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream. Feeling great starts with a great shave, and a great shave starts with Barbasol's thick and rich moisturizing lather. Start your day off right with Barbasol. So 2nd down and 3. Ball is spotted on the Rebel 43-yard line. 3:21 to go in quarter number 2. Idaho State trails UNLV 14-10 as Jordan Cook gets the offense back out onto the field. Idaho State occupying the near sideline. Cook out of the shotgun with 2 receivers split to each side. He looks left, airs it up on a swing pass. It's caught by Brooks. He is tripped up in the backfield. Jaheim Joseph, like a rocket, came in from his safety spot. A loss of 1 on the play, and Joseph shaken up, still on the turf. And here comes the training staff to take a look at the safety.
It's a great play coming up and making that play, making contact behind the line of scrimmage. Another loss on the play, but obviously you don't want to see anybody injured on either side of the ball, but especially if you're UNLV with the expectation and the hopes you have. The secondary has been one of the position groups that actually has been touched by injury. It's not been an issue for the Rebel roster coming out of fall camp, but as with any season, the injuries can start to stack up, and you hate to see players having to leave ball games. Trainers do have him set up, and that's a good sign. Obviously nothing of a serious nature, and he's up on his own feet, under his own power, able to walk it off.
Third down and 4 with 3 minutes and counting to go. Idaho State sends a man in motion from the top to the bottom of the formation. Cook drops back to pass. He's pressured, airs it out over the middle. That's caught. Crushed at the 28-yard line after bringing that one down was Jonah Burton. The big hit by Jake Pope, not enough to knock the ball loose, and a pickup of 15 moves the chains for Idaho State.
That's just straight man coverage across the board. Across a deep over route, essentially. It's a tough route to cover. Just a lot of grass for any defender. And that time, it was Brown who got beat across the face. Pope able to come clean things up, but man coverage, you've got to just win your one-on-one matchups. And Brown, who has an interception earlier today, just unable to be on the winning side of that play. A major conversion there for the Bengals.
Bengals break the huddle and hustle up to the line of scrimmage. And before they can get the play off, a timeout called by the offense.
Take their first charge, timeout of a half. 30 seconds.
So they had hustled to the line, not to try to, mix up that UNLV defense. They were down to the end of the play clock. And Cody Hawkins, the third-year head coach, calls timeout. This Idaho State offense has a lot of bright spots. Jordan Cook, especially on that last one, staring down the pressure before delivering the completion. A lot to like about Cook, a guy who started 2 seasons ago here for the Idaho State Bengals, led them to the #1 passing attack in the FCS in 2023, averaging over 330 yards passing a game.
Yeah, and it was no secret that he had the talent coming in, and that they were going to lean on him if they had any hope of winning, or if they have hopes of having a successful season as things go forward. They're going to throw the ball. He's shown why. They trust him extremely, to an extreme degree, to make the right decision to put the ball where it needs to be. And he's shown some playmaking from the quarterback position so far.
So coming out of the 32nd timeout, ball spotted on the far side at the 27-yard line. 2:12 to go in quarter number 2, just outside the 2-minute break. 3 receivers bunched up to the right. The handoff goes up the middle. It's Dason Brooks. He gets around a man on the left tackle. He's all alone at the 10. He goes into the end zone on the far side. And Idaho State jumps back on top, 16-14 with 2:06 to go in the quarter. I don't think Dason Brooks was touched on his first touchdown of the year.
And again, the Rebels getting caught with a 5-man box. Essentially, it's 5-on-5, hat on a hat. And Brooks does the rest. I mean, this is the offense has been explosive, and the defense for UNLV has not looked up to task. Outside of a couple of series here in the middle of this first half, the Rebels have just been out of position on a lot of these schemes.
Ryan Carter on the snap. The punter, Gabe Russo, on the hold. And Trey Sinatra, no relation to old Blue Eyes Frank Sinatra, kicks the extra point up and through. And Idaho State, with 2:06 to go in half number 1, leads 17-14. And the Bengals showing some fight late. UNLV looked like they had wrested some control, wrested some momentum on the defensive side in the middle of the second quarter. But for that drive, a couple of penalties helping out, and Idaho State taking care of business on the ground when push came to shove.
And it's unfortunate because this is not the first half that you wanted for UNLV, right? You wanted to come out and control pace, control the physicality. And much to our surprise, the ground game has actually been one of the more balancing factors in this ball game. And UNLV in the trenches was expected to have more of a dominant performance, but they just haven't had their ducks in a row. I think maybe anticipating pass and anticipating what they'll be able to do to stop the pass, they've been caught a little bit off guard by how willing the Bengals are to hand the ball off and run things. So lots to tighten up. Plenty of football left to clean it up. There's a halftime locker room that I'm sure won't be a pleasant affair. But 2 minutes to go, situational football here for UNLV, scoring some points going into the locker room. They will have possession to start the second half, but a perfect opportunity for whoever takes this series of plays at quarterback to execute a 2-minute drill and get some points on the board before the break.
That last drive for Idaho State spanned 91 seconds, only running 4 plays, but picking up 50 yards. 27-yard touchdown run for Dason Brooks, his first of the season and the 5th of his career. Idaho State getting ready to put boot to ball. It's the lefty kicker Mason Lindbergh kicking this one off to the right, and it goes through the back of the end zone. Rebels will get 1 play off before the 2-minute timeout. 2:06 to play in the second quarter, and they'll start on their own 25, heading right to left, trailing 17-14. And Caleb, in a situation like this, while you'd love a touchdown on every drive, points almost a necessity going into the halftime pause.
Absolutely. You want to get the ball, get into this lead. I think going into the something about the mentality of going into the locker room tied, where it's a 0-0 ball game instead of having a deficit, just as a mindset thing. But obviously, you just want to execute.
So it'll be Calandria under center, I guess behind center in the shotgun, with Kevon Lee, the running back, off to his left. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left, and the handoff is to Lee. He'll take it off the right guard and runs into the pile. And just about the entire Idaho State defense stands him up at the line of scrimmage at the 25. And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. 1:59 to go in the first half. UNLV trails Idaho State 17-14. Back from Allegiant Stadium after the 2-minute timeout. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield. Players can make real-time adjustments, allowing the athletes to compete at the highest level. Rebels have the ball on their own 25-yard line, hitting from right to left. It'll be a 2nd down and 10 coming out of the 2-minute timeout. Calandria drops back to pass. He'll run it himself up the middle. Tries to jump over a defender across the 35. But he is flipped over by Davion Ross, a short of the line to gain, maybe 2 yards short. So we'll spot it a 3rd and a long 1 upcoming. Clock rolling at 1:40 and counting. And Calandria in the pistol takes the snap. He hands it off to Kevon Lee. He is met in the backfield and twisted down by Cameron Willis. No space whatsoever there for Kevon Lee. And on a 4th and 1 play, looks like Idaho State's going to call a timeout to stop the clock.
Idaho State will take their second charge, time of the half. 30 seconds.
And the Rebel offense, at least for the time being, remains on the field.
And they made a change. Calandria goes to the sideline. Alex Orji comes in. 4th and 2 here. Really a big-time gamble early on in this ball game, trying to keep possession with your offense. Looked like the decision to call a timeout there.
And Dan Mullen standing behind the line judge on the UNLV sideline with his arms crossed, and he looks rather crossed.
There's some confusion because the Bengals called the timeout just assuming that the Rebels are going to punt here. And so I don't think – I think it's a bit of a cat and mouse game, because I think the decision to keep the offense on the field stirred up some concern for the Bengals. And now there's confusion as to did they want to call a timeout or not.
Because they called that timeout and just kind of stayed out there on the field.
Right, and also the ball got spotted differently. So after the timeout, the ball got moved back. And I think both coaches were a little bit concerned with that, making it a little bit longer of a 4th down attempt. 4th and 2 is still a short yardage situation, and I think the Rebels think they can go get 2 yards, or they should be able to go get 2 yards as an offense. Based on what we've seen by everybody other than Jaden Thomas, I don't think the run game has been dominant by any means. But the offense is going to stay on the field with Alex Orji as the quarterback in the huddle as the ready for play comes from the official.
91 seconds to go in half number 1. Rebels trail 17-14, and they've got a 4th and 2 upcoming from their own 33-yard line. Orji in the shotgun. He's got Kevon Lee, the running back, to his right, and laundry flying everywhere. Looks like a false start. Kevon Lee reacting as if it were against the offense, and here's Christian Watson to announce it.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Remain 4th down.
And that's on Alani Makahele. That'll move him back 5 yards, and that'll make the decision a little bit easier for Dan Mullen and company. They're going to punt on 4th and 7. Freeman back at the 30-yard line to receive for Idaho State. The 6'2" freshman punter out of Coolangatta, Australia, Cam Brown. on for his third punt of the game and of his career. He hits a low line drive that takes a bounce at the 35-yard line, and they're going to let this one roll. It is picked up at the 29 of Idaho State, and that's where they will start with a minute 22 to go. Jaden Bradley downing that one on a roller. So for Idaho State, with one timeout remaining and a $1:22 to go in the quarter, how aggressive are they going to be in the play calling here, leading by 3?
I would say you're playing with house money. Go for it. You got one timeout. If you get something here early, then, hey, you got action. But a missed opportunity for UNLV again with a self-inflicted wound. Rebel offense just hasn't looked very clean, really, since the first drive, where they executed a great drive. Outside of that, it's been big plays that have gotten them back into this ballgame.
82 seconds left in the quarter. 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Cook takes the snap on the near side hash, gives it up the middle to Brooks. He runs it around the left edge. Alualu Tuiolamotu hanging from him as a couple other defenders come in and make the stop. Picking up 4. It's now a 2nd down and 6. Clock stops until the ball is set. They're trying to get everybody off. UNLV calls a timeout defensively here. They now have 2.
UNLV will take their first charge time of the half. 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 1:15. 1:15.
Caleb, this tells you that Dan Mullen and his coaching staff think that they can go 3 and out, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's an aggressive decision to call that timeout. A minute and 15 left. I think you want to give yourself as many opportunities as you can, especially with the way this first half has gone. Obviously, things will be corrected at halftime, but you want to take advantage of any opportunity right now. Create some momentum before the locker room. Now, the flip side of that is you have to come out and exit. You're going to try to get off the field. You have to get off the field. Otherwise, you know, the decision to take timeouts and really stop the clock for the Bengals, who only have one timeout, could come back to bite you. But we'll see how it pans out. Obviously, the coach trusts his players to go execute a quick 3 and out.
So coming out of the timeout, 2nd down and 6 from the 34-yard line. Ball right in the middle of the field. Cook puts a man in motion. That's Brooks, the running back, to the right. He'll take the snap. He'll pitch it to him off the right tackle. He's got 3 defenders chasing him across the 40. Jake Pope dives for the ankles and eventually brings him down at the 44-yard line. That's enough to move the chains, and the clock will start when the ball is set with 1:08 to go.
And again, leverage plays. These Bengals are just creating leverage and getting the edge more often than not against the Rebel defenders. And the light boxes that the Rebels are playing with create opportunities to get gashed in the run.
1 minute and counting to go in the first half. Brooks motioning to the left. Idaho State looks like they're in no hurry to get this snap off. Now Brooks returns to the left hip. And the running back off the left side of the quarterback, Jordan Brooks. He takes the snap, drops straight back, throws it up to the far sideline. That's caught and out of bounds. Damian Morgan picks up 7 yards. He was eventually tackled by Amaris Brown on the far sideline. That'll stop the clock with 43 seconds to go. 2nd down and 3 from the Rebel 49.
Again, Rebels really with a man coverage look there. Tight coverage, good throw by Cook to the sideline. It's a field out he's throwing there. Right on the sideline and out of bounds. 43 seconds left in the half.
That'll stop the clock. Cook now 15 for 25 for 151 yards and an interception. There's 2nd down and 3. The ball snap. He drops back to pass. He throws far sideline again, in and out of the hands of the receiver. A big time hit, and Raiden Brown couldn't hold on. Good hit there by Quandarius Keys, the JUCO transfer.
Again, putting people at the point of attack there. It's a great job. Another Rebel is down in the backfield. Can't get the number with the training staff, but
that is Amaris Brown. And he hasn't been a big-time impact player already. The 5'10", 190-pound senior out of Tampa. He was honorable mention All-American Athletic Conference last year at South Florida. That's a big-time program. They know how to really churn out defensive backs, especially in South Florida, and Brown no exception. And he's been a guy whose name that we've called a lot today.
Brought him on a pressure there. He's down in the backfield, in the Bengals backfield. So he was a part of the rush. May have taken an awkward fall. He's up now off of his back, sitting up, getting some additional attention, but it looks like he is okay. Up to his feet now, under zone power. No noticeable limp here. A couple of DBs now have gone off the field, and it looks like it's a stinger from what I'd guess here. Brown working that left shoulder, trying to get his full range of motion tested, but likely a stinker from him.
You've had a couple of those, right?
Yeah, stingers are no fun. They feel like death when they happen, but a few minutes after, everything kind of returns to normal. The panic stops, but he'll go into the tent and get checked out, and his team will stay on the field for this 3rd down stop trying to get the Bengals off the field.
With 39 seconds left in the half, 3rd and 3 from the Rebel 49-yard line. Ball snapped on the other end of midfield. Cook on the option, rolls right, pitches to the right. Brooks cuts it back over the middle. Adeleye holding on to him. He brings him down right near the first down marker. And just judging on the spot, looks like he'll have the first down, and he does. So he needed 3. He got just over that. And 33 seconds to go. The ball spotted at the 46. Now the clock winding as we end towards the first half. 17-14 the lead for Idaho State. Cook drops back looking to add to it. He's rushing out. There's a flag in the backfield. The pass is complete to Shulikov at the 35-yard line. He is knocked down inside the 35 at the 32, but the flag's in the area of a hold.
Holding. Offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty, and made first down.
That's on Jorgen Miller, the right guard for Idaho State, and that's the game's 9th penalty already, although you kind of expect some of that sloppiness here to start the season in the opening game.
Yeah, definitely something that both coaches will be trying to clean up, and something we'll keep an eye on as Brown has checked back in, just missed one play, got checked out in the 10. He's back out on the field. He's been a standout at cornerback so far in this ball game, at least with his tight coverage. But now it's a 1st and 20 for the Bengals. We'll see if their tempo changes with the time they have left.
Jalen Lee and Lucas Conti, the 2 down linemen. And on the wide receiver screen, they'll go to the running back instead. It's Dason Brooks, crushed right near the original line of scrimmage. They'll give him maybe half a yard. And it looked for a moment like Dan Mullen wanted a timeout, but they'll let it go, and that'll wind it down to the end of the first half. As the clock strikes zeros, now the team's heading to the locker room. And Steve Cofield going to be joined in just a moment by the head coach, Dan Mullen. But Caleb, a halftime deficit for the Rebels. They trail 17-14, and that's not what they were expecting at all here. He puts a boot into it, and we are underway in half number 2. Jalen Glover grabs this one at the goal line, steps back, now will take it out. He's at the 10 on the far side, to the numbers at the 20. He cuts it to the inside, he gets a block, penalty flags flying. He spins around one defender. He is ripped down. That's Rylan Leathers on the tackle at the 14. There are 2 different flags, one at the 20, one at the 30. Could be 2 different fouls. So the officials coming out of the locker room ready to go.
Yeah, it looks like they all saw the same infraction, so they all threw the flags.
Well, that penalty looks like it'll go against Justin Flo. Second time he's been flagged this afternoon. And the Rebels will...
a Rebel down, it appears, on the Rebel sideline as well. Insult to injury here. Not sure if it's a Rebel player or if it's a Bengal player.
Bengal.
Actually, it is a Bengal player. The Rebel training staff is attending to him. They were the first on scene, so to speak, and he's now sitting up. They're trying to get a number to see exactly who it is, but it is a Bengal player on the sideline who's being helped up, assisted heavily here with a very, very obvious limp there. It looks like a right leg injury.
That looks like Junior DeMooney. They have 2 number 11s, but Ian Duarte, the wide receiver, kind of that scat back out of the slot. DeMooney at 6 feet, 230 pounds, the bigger of the 2, and that's who it appears to be. He is up and walking to his own sideline. He had to go a full 50-plus yards from the Rebel sideline to the near corner. And he's being helped by the trainers. He can barely put any weight on that right leg. So DeMooney shaken up. And the Rebels, thanks to the penalty, will start this drive from their own 7-yard line. So a long field. And coming out of the halftime break, it'll be Anthony Calandria to signal the plays at quarterback. He comes out with Troy Omire, beg your pardon, with D'Angelo Irvin on the right side as well. Jaden Bradley, the wideout on the left. Varkey's Gums, the tight end at the top of the formation. And in the pistol, Jet Thomas set about 5 yards behind Calandria. He'll take the snap. Play action left. Rolling right. He's got a man. That's Bradley at the 10. Towards the sideline. He's knocked down at the 19-yard line. Tackled inbounds by Trey Shorty, the nickelback.
Simple play there. Coming all the way across the backside of the formation. Bradley sneaks behind the line of scrimmage. An easy completion to the flat for a first down. Creating space away from your own end zone.
Bradley's second catch. He's got 20 yards receiving on the game. First down and 10 from the 18. 14-24 and counting to go in the third. Calandria to pass, looking far sideline, airs it up. He looks far and it's knocked out of bounds off the hands of D'Angelo Irvin Jr. Shorty was one-on-one in the coverage as well. A good ball. He just couldn't rein it in.
It's a tough catch over the head, tracking it late. The ball's just out of his reach to make it a comfortable catch. Great route on the slot fade. Great ball there by Calandria. It's probably the best place to put it. Maybe just a little bit more downfield so he doesn't have to adjust going backwards to make that catch and track it. But shot downfield, really the first downfield pass attempt for the Rebel offense.
First incompletion of the day. Anthony Calandria now 5 out of 6. Combined, him and Orji are 8 out of 9. Second down and 10 upcoming. He takes the snap and rolls to the left. Throws it to Thomas. It's complete to the running back at the 20. Makes a man miss at the numbers and gets it across the 20 down to the 23-yard line. That'll set up a 3rd and medium. Unique situation here with 14 to go in the quarter.
And again, just taking an easy completion, really a design little flat route, a dart route by Thomas out of the backfield. Calandria just gets him an easy catch. Maybe an opportunity to outrun the defender to the sideline, cut back against the grain and gets a good positive yards there on 2nd down. 3rd down, very manageable here.
3rd and 5. It's Omire and Irvin to the left, along with the tight end Gums. By himself on the right side of the formation is Tayshawn Lyons. Now they switch up the formation and send 2 receivers to the bottom. On 3rd and 5, Calandria takes the snap on the far side hash. He drops back. Pressured, he throws. It's complete over the middle to Gums. Gums to the 35. He throws a shoulder into a defender at the 39-yard line. That's where he's brought down on a big-time 3rd down pickup. Leathers on the stop after a gain of 21.
And that's a good job of patience in the pocket there by Calandria. Trusted his eyes, pressure right in his face, finds his crossing tight end for the 1st down. Way to keep the drive alive there. That's a great pocket pass by Calandria.
2 receivers and a tight end right. Troy Omire all alone at the top of the formation. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Thomas, the running back, off to the right in the shotgun. Calandria wearing 10 takes the snap. Play action. He'll look downfield. Now he'll look left. He checks down to Jet Thomas. Completed the 35. He's across the 40. Down to the 45. Drags 3 defenders to midfield. He is spotted down at the 50. A gain of 11. That's a 1st down play from Calandria to Thomas.
And again, the maturity of Jet here. That's a 5-yard check down. And as a quarterback, you don't necessarily like to take the check down, but when you check it down to a guy who understands his role as a check down, he creates a 1st down out of it. This is 10 yards to your passing stats, and it's all from Jaden Thompson being an absolute dog with the ball in his hand.
Matt Burns, the tight end, split to the left off by himself as Calandria takes the snap and rolls to the right. He's pressured. He throws it to the near sideline, intended for Irvin, but it's out of bounds. That one was just a throwaway to get into the coverage.
The quarterback was outside the pocket. Pass is incomplete. 2nd down.
And again, mature play by Calandria there, right? They're designed to try to take a shot downfield there. Unique formation. It looked like he may have even been wanting to throw back to his tight end that you mentioned on the formation on the backside, but it wasn't there. And instead of making a bad thing worse, you live to fight another down, throw it away, safely out of bounds. 2nd and 10 is way better than taking a massive loss on a sack there.
Burns stays in as the tight end on the left. 2 receivers right and 1 receiver off to the left. That is Jaden Bradley all by himself. Calandria fakes a handoff, throws it to the far side, looking for Bradley, but it's incomplete. A miscommunication on the route. Penalty on the play, though, near the backfield. Hold the phone.
Holding. Defense, number 30. 10-yard penalty. An automatic. 1st down.
Redshirt freshman Mike Lindsay called for a big-time penalty. That's why Bradley was so out of position.
Yeah, he got held up out of his break. I think the timing was also thrown off. Calandria maybe couldn't anticipate as much as he wanted to because there was pressure coming up the middle there. He got rid of it and put it to a safe spot outside, but because of the hold, the receiver wasn't able to break free and react to that throw. But either way, the penalty yardage gets the ball into plus territory for UNLV and a fresh set of downs.
It'll move it right inside the Idaho State 41-yard line. Rebels heading left to right here on the opening drive of the 3rd, trailing 17-14 against Idaho State. Calandria motions the running back off to the right. He'll drop back. He'll run it himself. He's to the 40. He's at the 35 to the 30. On the far sideline. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Dives pylon. He is spotted down short of the line to gain. He is inside the 5, though, and Anthony Calandria rips off a 36-yard run to get the Rebels inside the 5.
I think he thinks he was in. He didn't realize that they marked him out that last step before he laid out for the pylon. And now they're hurrying to the line here on 1st and goal.
A hurry-up offense. Calandria takes the snap, gives to Thomas, makes a move up the middle. He's through. Touchdown, Scarlet and Gray. Jaden Thomas with his 3rd of the game. What a way to start the season for the Jet.
Had got 12 players on the field. That's a foul for illegal substitution. That penalty is declined. Touchdown, UNLV.
Bengals will decline that penalty 8 days a week as they jump back out on top.
Great job again, Calandria, displaying his athleticism. It wasn't maybe talked about as much as Alex Orji's athleticism, but he shows he can get it done with his legs. Nice run, creating after the pressure, really sparking this Rebel offense. What a great drive coming out of the halftime locker room.
Caden Costa on for the extra point. Check that, that's Ramon Villa with Connor Meltzer on the hold. And it is 2017, looking to make it 21-17 on the point after. Caden Costa at Amandaville, Louisiana, was 26 out of 28 in extra points last year at Memphis. 78 out of 82 career coming into this one. Snap is good, the hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is through. And the extra point makes it a 4-point lead. 21-17 with 11:57 to go in quarter number 3. Rebels on defense when we return. This is the UNLV Sports Network from Learfield. The Rebels back on top thanks to that long drive. 8 plays, 93 yards, taking nearly 3 minutes off the clock. And Caleb, that's kind of what we had expected coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, Jaden Thomas is a man on a mission. He's got some preseason accolades, but he is definitely fired up and ready to make this his coming out party nationally. He wants to be the best back in the Mountain West, and he thinks the throne is there for the taking. 3 touchdowns early in the season will get you off to a great start. He's been sort of the great hope for UNLV offensively, the only consistent thing that the Rebels have had. And through 3 quarters, he's been every bit as advertised on the preseason. We'll see if we got more for Jaden Thomas. But now the defense gets their first chance. I think this was the unit that had the most concern as the kickoff goes out of the end zone for a touchback. The Rebel defense looked fired up on the sideline as they were getting ready for this first series of the second half. We'll see if they clean things up, made the halftime adjustments necessary to go play fast and really assert themselves as a dominant unit here for the Rebels.
Jet Thomas with 7 carries, 135 yards and 3 touchdowns, a career-long 70-yard rush for his second of 3 scores. Idaho State's got the ball heading from right to left. They'll take over on their own 25-yard line following the kick through the back of the end zone. And they now trail by 4. Jordan Cook having a good day so far, 16 out of 27 for 151 yards. He'll put it in the belly of the running back, and cutting it along the left sideline is Dason Brooks. Brooks down just inside the 40. Andrew Powdrell making his first stop as a Rebel, and that's a big gain as it gets all the way down to the 38-yard line, a pickup of 16.
And again, formationally, the Rebels have a 5-man box, so essentially it's 5-on-5 blocking, hat on hat. That's why there's so much space for the ground game. They're trusting somebody to get off a block and be able to make a tackle, and it just hasn't happened so far here against the rush attack of the Bengals.
McDuffie and Kaehua, the 2 linebackers in the 4-2-5 set. On first down, a little shovel pass to the running back. Brooks knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. Kaehua got him first. Chief Borders will get credit for the stop.
And there you see the 4-2 rather than the 4-1 look by alignment, just not adjusting too much to the spread formation, keeping that second linebacker and changes the count, and it eliminates the space there that they have on that little shovel sort of counterplay there. So a good stop for a short gain.
Second down and 9. Ball spotted on the near side hash at the 39-yard line. Cook looking to his right. He's got 2 receivers to that side of the formation as well as to the left. Running back stays in the block. Screen pass right. Knocked down. Amaris Brown got the hand in on a pass intended for Shulikov. Check that. That's LaTerrence Welch. Good play there from the junior out of Lafayette, Louisiana.
Again, tight coverage on the back end. The secondary has definitely got more comfortable playing really just man coverage behind this front 7. And they've been tight on these throws. All passes have been contested downfield. This one brings up a 3rd and 9 for the Bengal offense.
Ball spotted on the 39. Idaho State today 3 out of 8 on 3rd downs. Cook with 3 receivers to the right, drops back to pass. He looks in that direction, throws it up to the far sideline, covered, and ball falls incomplete. A late penalty flag in the area of pass interference. That was Amaris Brown, who never got his back turned to the line of scrimmage.
Pass interference, defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty, an automatic, first down.
Yeah, that's a cheeky call there. Brown has his hands up. He attempts late to turn around and catch the ball. The receiver's coming back through him. That's like drawing a foul as an offensive player. I don't know what else you're supposed to do as a defender there. You're face guarding, and you're allowed to do that. You don't have to look for the ball. He's not initiating contact, but just gets caught in a terrible situation. Again, Grant's first down, and the Bengals drive stays alive.
So that penalty is a big one. It's the 5th of the game for the Rebels, and it extends the drive, as you had mentioned. Idaho State hands off right side to Brooks. He's got some space off the tackle. He gets it across the 35, down near the 30, and he falls forward to the 30-yard line. Holding on was Lucas Conti, but on a gain of 15, it's another first down for the Bengals. That is their 19th of the game.
And again, the Bengals, every time the Rebels go with this light box, where it's essentially a 41 box, they take advantage with the ground game. And it's really just hat on a hat, find space, and they're getting chunk yardage on first down runs.
21-17 UNLV, 10-10 to go in the third quarter. First and 10 from the Rebel 31-yard line. Ball spotted from the far side. On a slant, complete on the left side to Damian Morgan. He is tackled right away after picking up 4 yards. Norris Brown got him, and it brings up 2nd and 6. So Jordan Cook today, pretty efficient early on and has taken the easy throws as they've come. He is now 18 for 30 for 152 yards. Still no touchdown pass, although we caught the opening touchdown of the game. Ball right in the middle of the field on 2nd down and 6 to go. Brooks motioning from the left to the right in the backfield. And they can't get him to jump on the hard count, so they look to the left sideline and get a new play. Brooks back to the left hip of the quarterback with 4 on the play clock. Brooks takes the snap. The option play to the left. He throws it overhand to Brooks. The ball is down. It is ruled an incomplete pass. Smart play by the left tackle, Will Davis, to fall on that one. Looked like an option read, and then all of a sudden it was an overhand forward pass that landed on the turf.
And Blessing Alualu-Tuilamotu finds himself as a disruptor yet again on that defensive side. There to lay a hit just in case. Even if that pass is caught, it would have been for a loss of yards. Maybe a benefit that they dropped it there, but another third down for the defense.
Clock stopped at 9:21. Ball on the 27-yard line. Here's a 3rd down and 6 play for Idaho State. Cook to pass. He's looking right. He's flushed right out of the pocket. Throws up a prayer to a wide open receiver on the far sideline. Caught and knocked out of bounds at the 3 is Raiden Brown. A 25-yard pitch and catch on a prayer of a throw gets the Bengals inside the 5.
Really the first miscommunication of the half in the secondary. 2 defenders go to 1 off of the motion. A wheel route with a corner behind it. Rebels, both Pope, who I think may have been responsible for that deep corner, gets caught coming down on the underneath, and wide open receiver. Another 3rd down conversion for the Bengals.
First and goal from the 3. We'll see how the Rebel defense responds with their backs up against the goal line. They've got 2 linebackers, beg your pardon, in the game, and 4 down linemen, 5 defensive backs on the field. They've got an up back on the right, motion right, the throw to the end zone, and it's picked off. LaTerrence Welch comes up with it, and that's the way to make the stop. LaTerrence Welch turns it over. 2nd interception of the game for UNLV.
I tell you what, that's a massive play for a defense that gave up a gashing drive. They come up with the
On 2nd and 8, Calandria takes the snap, fakes it to Glover on the play action. Now we'll throw it to the running back on the left side. He catches it at the line of scrimmage. He's to the 30 on the far sideline. He gets it to the 40. He shoves his shoulder into a defender, runs over Rylan Leathers after a gain of 19 yards, and that's another Rebel first.
Good job by Calandria there, getting through his progression after the play action, and again, finding his running back in the check down. We've seen the running backs, Jaden Thomas early, now Glover, being a threat in the passing game, which really opens things up down the field. A lot of times you forget about the running backs leaking out, especially after play action fakes, and you see they get first downs when they get the ball in their hands.
Calandria now 9 for 11 for 81 yards through the air. He's got 2 receivers left and a tight end to that side as well. He'll take the snap, fake it to Glover, looking to pass, throws one deep, looking to the near side. He's got a man, that's Bradley, he's got it! Oh, what a diving catch as he's down at the 12-yard line. Jaden Bradley, Superman in the flesh, diving to grab that one out of the air.
Shot downfield, Rebels going for it. Bradley making it right. A little bit of an inaccurate pass by Calandria. Maybe could have had a touchdown if he leads him more up the field, but a great acrobatic catch by Bradley comes down with an explosive play for the offense.
Rebels inside the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Calandria flushed out of the pocket to the right. He'll throw it up out of bounds. He'll stop the clock and preserve himself and set up a 2nd down and 10.
And these are the plays.
Outside the pocket, there is no foul for intentional grounding.
No foul for intentional grounding. Got the ball back across the line of scrimmage outside of the pocket. But these are the plays that don't go on the stat sheet for a quarterback. That'll look like an incompletion. But Calandria saved a play there. That sack would have been devastating. He preserves 2nd and 10 by escaping the pressure and realizing when he lost the fight and just throwing it away, ditching it, not making a bad play worse.
J.D. Reynolds to the right. A tight end and 2 receivers to the left. Glover takes the handoff, cuts off the left tackle, drags a defender with him, brings Tuioti with him inside the 10. He is down to the 9-yard line on the far hash. 3rd down and 7 with 6:30 and counting to go in quarter number 3. The Rebels well inside field goal range here. You don't have to be overly aggressive on 3rd and 7, but they'd love 7 instead of 3.
That was one of Coach's keys during the coaches show, was he wanted to finish with touchdowns rather than field goals, and a touchdown opportunity here. 3rd and 7 stands in the way.
Elksness, the South Carolina transfer, the tight end to the right. Irvin motions from right to left. They'll fake it to him on the jet sweep. Calandria rolling. He'll throw end zone. In and out of the hands. Incomplete. He was looking for Jaden Bradley on the near side pylon. And a good tackle made in coverage there. That was Niger Richards, who's not been in the game yet, but he comes up big on 3rd down. And here comes the field goal unit for UNLV. So after already missing one earlier, get another shot here as it's Ramon Villea on the kick. Villea with Meltzer on the hold and McElwam on the snap. All spotted at the 9. This will be a 28-yard field goal from the left hash. Snap is good. The hold is down. The kick's got plenty of power, and it's right through the middle. So while the Rebels don't score a touchdown, they do get points as Ramon Villea tacks on 3 more, and it's a 24-17 lead for UNLV with 6 minutes exactly to go in quarter number 3. Back-to-back drives with points, just what the doctor ordered here in the 3rd.
10 unanswered points, and really the offense able to drive the ball pretty effectively on both of their opening possessions. Defense actually gave up a lot of yardage, but they didn't break. They bent, but they didn't break, coming up with a big-time turnover in the end zone. Sometimes it ain't pretty, but you get the job done. So a good start to the 2nd half for UNLV. They take a 24-17 lead. I like what I see from Calandria, not just with his athleticism and his elusiveness and his legs, but as he's calmed and settled into this ball game, he's made some throws from the pocket as well. He's made some good decisions that didn't necessarily end up in completed passes, but he's kept the offense ahead of the sticks, and that's one of the more underrated qualities of a quarterback. And Coach Mullen said it as plainly as make the boring plays. Sometimes the check down to a running back is boring, but both times Calandria has done it, they got 1st downs with it. So you can say it's boring all you want to, but it's the right play. And Calandria, it seems like he has an understanding of making the right play so far with the talent he has around him. He's doing a great job of dealing and making the necessary plays with his legs when he's called on to do it.
That last drive, 7 plays, 71 yards. 2 minutes and 28 seconds, culminating in a 26-yard field goal. And after 10 unanswered points, it is 24-17. Caden Costa puts it in the air from left to right. Robert Freeman grabs it on the far side hash of the 2. He'll return it. He's to the 15. He goes to the numbers inside the 20. He is brought down by a score of Rebel defenders. They'll give him the 19-yard line. That is a gang tackle on special teams if there ever was one. And with 5:53 to go in the 3rd, Idaho State's got the ball from right to left with the ball on their 19-yard line. If the Rebels can make one more stop here, Caleb, and go down and get some more points, that's really where you start to get that momentum swing that you may not give up the rest of the way.
And then that's when it goes from momentum to control, right? It's not like a back and forth. If you get a 3rd straight score here, good stop by the defense, then you really take control of this ballgame. But so far defensively, they haven't had much control. Let's see if they can start doing some dictating here on this possession.
Back into the game is Jordan Cook. He fakes a throw to the left, now airs it up over the middle of the field, and it's in and out of the hands of his intended target, Ian Duarte. One note on that last drive for Idaho State offensively, they had put in the backup quarterback, Jackson Sharman, who aired it out on the pick that was intercepted in the end zone by LaTerrence Welch. Not surprised necessarily to not see Sharman back out there the next play. So second down and 10 with 5:47 to go. Rebels on top by 7. Cook's got 2 receivers to each side of the formation. And the running back is Dason Brooks off to his right. He'll stay in to block as the pass is in the air over the middle of the field. That's caught and brought down immediately for no gain is Julian Mason. He'll pick up 12 yards and they'll give him 9 actually, making it 3rd down and 1. 3rd and 1 as the Bengals get to the line. They want to get this play off quickly from the shotgun. Handoff goes up the middle. Brooks goes nowhere. Fights through 1 tackle. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's all that he'll get. Marcel McDuffie holding on. Chief Borders knocked him down as well.
4th down.
Every time that the Bengals have gone with that quick snap, and they're going to go again here on 4th and 1. They're back up to the line of scrimmage. An early gamble here in the 3rd quarter.
Second 4th down attempt for the Bengals today. And they'll give it off to Brooks. He's got some space to the left side. He gets around Jake Pope, spins around one more defender past the 35-yard line. He's got the first and then some. He's able to scamper all the way to the 36 and move the chains.
A gamble there again. Didn't look like he had much, but able to stretch it out to the outside. Rebels did a good job in pursuit. I think they were really confident, or maybe not expecting the 4th down quick huddle, and the Bengals go 2 quick huddles in a row. Looked like the same play, different ways. Now, full sale substitution for the Rebels front line.
Idaho State makes the change, so the Rebels will on the defensive side as well. And on 1st and 10 from the 36, ball snapped with 4:24 to go. Rolling to the left is Cook. He's pressured by Muavesi. Throws it up to the middle of the field. Wide open is Duarte. He's got it at the 30. No one in front of him. He's at the 10, the 5, and he's in. Ian Duarte from 64 yards out with his 4th career touchdown reception. And there's the response from Idaho State. An extra point upcoming would tie the game at 24.
And again, it's miscommunication on the back end. Welch, as well as Brown, furious with what happened on the back end of that coverage, and Jake Pope shaking his head as well. Miscommunication in the secondary leaves a free runner for the Bengal offense.
The extra point by Sinatra is good. That's a pretty good name to have in this. Jalen Glover with his heels on the end zone. And it's the lefty Mason Lindbergh off to kick. Announced attendance coming through during that break at 25,723 fans at Allegiant Stadium here to kick off the 2025 season. Lindbergh puts boot into ball, and Glover's going to have a return here. He grabs it on the far side hash at the 5. He's to the 15, cuts it up towards the far sideline. He's at the 20. He's to the 30. His kicker throws a shoulder into him and knocks him out of bounds. But a big-time return from Jalen Glover. A return of 31 yards. Brings it out, and they'll spot it right inside the 35 at the Rebel 34-yard line.
Kicker essentially offered himself as sacrifice to stop a touchdown there, and he paid for it. Glover doing a great job finishing that run. Gives the Rebels pretty good starting field position out past the 30-yard line.
So here's Anthony Calandria, 10 for 14 passing for 128 yards. He'll lead the troops out there heading from left to right with the ball snapped on the far side hash. He gives it off to Kevon Lee. He fakes left, now cuts it to the right, runs over a defender. He threw a shoulder into Rylan Leathers, who eventually brought him down. He gains 4 yards, but there's some laundry as a penalty flag comes onto the field on the far sideline.
There's also the Bengal who made the tackle. Looks like he is having trouble with his right leg. He'll limp off the field, but it looks like a pretty bad leg injury.
That's Rylan Leathers, who's been all over the place for the Bengals on that side of the ball. Christian Watson, the referee, meeting with a couple of officials. They're standing at the 40-yard line. And now here's Christian Watson to announce, no, he goes back into the huddle. Here's the call.
After the play, personal foul, necessary roughness, UNLV, number 72. The 15-yard penalty enforcement in the run. The down counts. It'll be 2nd down. Number 90 of Idaho State may remain in the game.
So another costly penalty hurts UNLV once more. And, you know, you expect that in a week 0 game, Caleb, but it's been the timing of these penalties today.
Yeah, and the nature of them. The 15-yard variety is always going to hurt a lot more. And then with this one being a dead ball foul, it's the down's going to count. So instead of 1st and 20, you're going to now have 2nd and 20 plus here for the Rebel offense, trying to dig yourself out of a hole.
So they'll spot it all the way back to the 22-yard line. That is 1st down and over 20 yards. 3:54 to go in the 3rd as we're tied at 24. Handoff goes to Lee on the right side. He goes nowhere fast. Held up at the line of scrimmage. And a couple of Bengals came in from behind. That's Niger Richards, the quarterback, coming in once more for the stop.
And they disguise the corner blitz to the boundary. That's a play you want to get out of if you're Calandria. Really not schemed up to block a corner blitz. Leaves an unblocked guy coming right into the backfield, right in the lap of your running back. Lee never really had a chance to get going.
3rd down and 25 yards to go. Ball on the 19-yard line with the clock rolling. Calandria's got 3 receivers to the left. Omire all by himself on the right. He drops back to pass with the running back staying in for coverage. Calandria rolls left, makes one man miss, jukes a defender, pump fakes it, he's across the line of scrimmage. He's to the 30-yard line, tackled at the 34. Jaden Bell brings him down around the original line of scrimmage, but on a gain of 15, it sets up 4th and 10. And here comes the punt unit for UNLV.
Great job again, breaking ankles. Calandria showing again that he's savvy with the ball as a runner. Unfortunately, he had about 12 more yards to go to get to the sticks, but getting the ball back to the original line of scrimmage. Again, penalties, 10 or 15-yard variety, and the loss of down. Always backbreakers to offensive drives.
Cam Brown, the 2nd Australian punter in UNLV history. It's this one on a line drive right down the middle of the field. Robert Freeman picks it up in between the hashes at the 18-yard line, and he is met right off the bat. Jake Pope lays him out. He'll be tackled at the 25-yard line, spotted for a gain of 6 on the return. Good punt by Brown, and Pope right there to meet him. 2:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. And with the tie game at 24, the Bengals have a drive to try and take a lead.
I'll tell you what, Pope's had some coverage bust, but there's nothing wrong with his ability to lay the hammer. That's a great explosive tackle there by Pope. He'll take a break on the sideline here for this defensive possession. As the Rebels trying to clean up the act defensively after giving up a commanding, explosive play by the Bengals.
Idaho State with 434 yards of total offense today, including 268 through the air. Jordan Cook's got 253 of those yards passing, and he's got 3 receivers to the left, including a tight end. He'll take the snap, play action right, looking to throw. He goes to the right side, and it's in and out of the hands, incomplete. A late flag comes out of the coverage as Mike Shulikov was contacted on the way down.
That's great coverage playing through the receiver. He has a right to the ball. I think he's on time in his coverage. The officials are going to discuss this. I don't think this is a good call here. Only one official from the back throws it.
Pass interference, defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty, an automatic, 1st down.
And that's Denver Harris, whose name we have not called yet. And that's a big-time size mismatch as well. Shulikov at 6'6", 225. Harris at 6 feet and a generous 190 on the depth chart.
And I think you got some hand fighting there by the bigger receiver trying to bully the corner. And you got to be able to fight back there. And I think that was the case with Harris. They flag him for the penalty, but that's just good physical play by both players there. That's a good rep in my book.
Both teams with 7 penalties now in the game, and it moves the ball up to the Idaho State 40-yard line. They have a 1st and 10 out of the shotgun. Cook to throw. Little shovel pass up the middle. He goes to the running back, Brooks. Chief Borders holds on to an ankle, and somehow Brooks is able to escape it. Tackled after a gain of 9 at the 49-yard line. That's a lot of weight to be carrying along with you. And the Bengals have loved that shovel look today.
And again, the shovel look against the 4-1 look. Rebels spread out defensively, and they're getting parted there by those little inside handoffs or shovel passes.
2nd down and 1. A long one at that. 1st down line to gain is midfield. The Rebels send pressure from the pocket. Complete over the middle of the field into Rebel territory. That's Duarte down to the 37. A great grab on a dive, and it moves the chains. Pickup of 14 moves the ball into plus territory for the Bengals, and they are on the move with 90 seconds and counting to go in the 3rd. They'll have a 1st and 10 with 3 receivers left. That's Shulikov all by himself on the right. Rebels show pressure with 7 men all lined up on the line of scrimmage. Cook takes the snap, all 7 on the move. On a quick pass to the left side, Duarte's got it at the 33. He is upended quickly by Amaris Brown. And a short completion on 1st down. Sets up a 2nd, and we'll call it at 6.
The Rebels have just basically said we're going to play man coverage here. And they're trusting their guys to try to make a play against man coverage, trusting the front 7 to create pressure. And these tight window throws, Cook's been able to make. And they've gotten the separation they needed to keep completions going and stay ahead of the chains here.
Cook now 25 for 39 passing today. And with 40 seconds and counting to go in the third quarter, he's got a 2nd and 6 from the 33-yard line. He'll throw it to the right. It's complete on the outside, across the 35, or rather the 25, down to the 23-yard line. Knocked out of bounds quickly. That was Damian Morgan. Morgan, who did not play a snap last year, has 6 catches and over 50 yards already here in the season opener in 2025.
And again, getting the ball out quickly is Cook. The pressure that the Rebels are trying to bring just isn't getting home. He's getting rid of the ball quickly to his underneath guys and gets man covered.
Clock continues to wind. 13 seconds to go in the quarter. 1st and 10 from the Rebel 22-yard line just outside the red zone. Cook drops back. The Rebels send 4. Throw over the middle. Looking end zone. Incomplete. Knocked out of the hands of Morgan by Jake Pope. Great coverage there. A little bit of contact, but not too much with 6 seconds to go in the quarter.
Well-timed help. It's a little bit of an inside-out coverage. Nickel back there giving up the inside leverage, kind of baiting that throw to the safety help. Pope comes right on time with the help over the top, separating man from ball. Rare incompletion here for Cook.
It's likely the last play of quarter number 3 with 6 seconds to go. 2nd and 10 from the 22. Cook Scott is running back Brooks off his left hip and 3 receivers to that side as well. Shulikov, the only receiver to the right. Handoff goes up the middle. Brooks cuts it to the right, gets around the tackle at the 20. He's to the 15. He's on the sideline to the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Dason Brooks with his 2nd rushing score of the game, but there's a penalty.
Holding. Offense, number 54. 10-yard penalty. And remains 2nd down.
Jorgen Miller with a holding penalty. The right guard brings back the touchdown for Idaho State. And that'll end quarter number 3.
That is the
Idaho
end
State will have
of the
the
third
ball
quarter.
in plus territory when we start quarter number 4. We are tied at 24 between UNLV and Idaho State. Back with 4th quarter action. They're going to flip the field and head from left to right away from the torch, as the Rebels will go to the north end zone on the torch when they do get the ball here in the 4th quarter. So 2nd down and 20 upcoming as Brooks motions to the left. Jordan Cook drops back to pass. He looks right. He'll run it himself up the middle. He dives towards the 30-yard line. They'll spot him for maybe a 2-yard gain, and that was just out of desperation to avoid a hit.
And the Rebels created confusion there with their look in the secondary. They showed the blitz that they ran previously, but dropped off into cover 2. Pope did a great job after bluffing, getting back to his deep half, and really took away the option that Cook wanted to go to. 3rd and forever here for the Bengal offense.
It is a 3rd and 18 from the 30-yard line. Bengals 4 for 10 on 3rd down today. Receiver motions from right to left. That's Duarte. Cook on the hard count. Didn't get anybody to jump. The Rebels showing just 3 down linemen. Everybody else dropping back, including Chief Borders. Now he approaches the line of scrimmage. The Rebels send 3. Cook to pass. He's looking left side. Airs it up to the far sideline. He's got a man. He made the catch, but were the feet in bounds? They're going to say it was. Julian Mason caught it. I don't know if he ever got the feet down.
I think the Rebel defender forced him out. It looked from our original vantage point. They had a brief discussion about it. I thought it was clear that the Rebel defender was able to push him out of bounds, and the first foot comes down out of bounds. This has got to get overturned. Clearly not a completion from the replay, and it looks like the officials on the field are being buzzed down. I think it was the right call to call it incomplete in the first place. And they almost gave the Bengals, if the Bengals didn't make a substitution there, they almost gave the Bengals a 1st down. The Bengals, fortunately, and I think maybe errantly by mistake on their end, made a substitution which allowed the refs to stop play for the Rebels to match that substitution. And in that time, the booth was able to buzz down and get the message down to the on-field officials that it does need to be overturned. I think it's clear, and I thought it was pretty clear on the initial shot that the foot was on the white when it came down. Great effort, great placement of the throw, great effort by that receiver to try to come down with the foot in bounds. But I think the Rebel defense was tight enough to force it out, and this should be overturned and brought back.
And I mean, regardless of if he got the feet down, that's a heck of a catch by Julian Mason. You give him credit just for coming down with that one, inbounds or otherwise.
And the ball placement by Cook, that's about the only place the Rebel defense gave him to put that ball. And he put it right on the mark. That's an NFL caliber throw. And I don't know if we really talked about it enough what kind of performance Cook has had so far. And it's much to the dismay of the Rebel secondary, who's been kind of getting shredded here a little bit. But that was an elite throw on the back shoulder fade there, giving his receiver a chance to come down with it. Great job playing through the whistle by the Rebel defender there, forcing him out of bounds to make sure that he didn't get that foot down.
So the referee, Christian Watson, still under the hood guess you can't really say under the hood anymore. He is in front of the tablet, the DV Sport tablet on the near sideline, and usually the extended look means that there is something to look at. But again, you know, it's a broken record, but it bears repeating that it has to be 100% clear and indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field. The call was a completed catch, and so there has to be 100% indisputable evidence to overturn that. And I mean, the longer this review,
he sees control of this ball game.
One stop might do it. The offense can run some time off the clock afterwards. Here's Costa's kickoff, and a low end over end kick goes through the back of the end zone for a touchback. 8:51 remaining in the game. 38-31, the UNLV advantage, and really it might come down to this one drive here, Caleb.
Yeah, this is probably an all-in type of a hand here that the Bengals are going to try to play. Expect them, they've already gone for it on fourth down here in the second half. Expect them to be trying to use 4 downs here, especially if they get anywhere near scoring opportunity. But I think they are really going to lean on their offense. The defense is really starting to get worn down. The Rebel offense has found success here in the second half. Really exploded on the scoreboard so far. But we'll see if the defense can come up with a stop. And you know they're not going to stop throwing punches here behind the arm of Cook.
Ball spotted on the near side hash at the 25-yard line. Bengals going from left to right. On a play-action pass up the middle. It is complete on the slant to Duarte with Pope hanging from behind him. He didn't catch it cleanly initially, but on the second effort, he snagged it for a gain of 10 and picks up the first.
They're going to the RPO look, and this is an experienced quarterback just doing what the defense tells him to do. They slid late to the 4-2 box, which opened up an avenue for the RPO. He took that slant and took the first down.
First and 10 from the 35-yard line. 8:25 and counting to go in quarter number 4. As Cook fakes right, he'll roll to the left on a design quarterback waggle. He'll throw it off the back foot. It's picked off. Picked off by Welch at midfield. He cuts it to the far sideline at the 40. He's down to the 30. He is thrown out of bounds. Another interception, and the Rebels do get that critical stop.
Great job by Welch, falling off in coverage. Rebels showing man, trying to get the slot receiver. Welch is working on the outside, eliminated his receiver, and has the wherewithal to read the quarterback's eyes and see he's trying to make the throw behind him in coverage. Falls off, and without the necessary air under that ball, ends up getting an easy interception and a return off of it. Rebels again knocking on the door of adding to this lead.
25-yard return gets it down to the 23. That turnover brought to you by Belfer Property Restoration. So here's Calandria out of the pistol. He's got Reynolds by himself on the right, 3 receivers to the left, including JoJo Earl. The handoff goes right up the middle to Jalen Glover. He goes left side, spins it back to the right, between the hashes, muscles his way down to the 15, and they'll give him the 14 for a gain of 9. It was Mike Lindsay eventually tripping him up. Jalen Glover spent 3 seasons in Utah, and with that run, he has now gone over 1,000 yards rushing in his collegiate career. Needed 18 coming into today to eclipse the 1K mark. Second down and 1 from the 14-yard line. Glover behind Calandria in the pistol again. Calandria communicating with Reynolds, the wide receiver on the right side. He'll take the snap. It's an option look to the right. Calandria flips it for Glover. They've got the first down. Jukes a man inside the 10-yard line. A pair of defenders upending him. Nathan Reynolds and Taylor Tuioti combining on the stop, but that is another EOS Fitness first down.
You see the comfort from Calandria. That's a check he made at the line of scrimmage. He was comfortable enough to not like the look he had initially and get the Rebels into the right play for a first down. And in the running back room, you've got some dynamic running backs. Glover and Jaden Thomas have the vision, the elusiveness, and the grit to be outstanding running backs in the conference.
First and goal from the 7. Gums the tight end to the left. It's Reynolds, Lyons, and Earl, the 3 receivers from bottom to top. Calandria throws a wide receiver screen. It's complete at the 9. That's JoJo Earl, and he is tackled immediately. Brought down by Davion Ross, the nickelback.
Trying to get the receiver the ball in space. Coming from the hash, that's a long throw. The ball's in the air for a long time. The defense able to react there. JoJo Earl's really not able to catch that ball and get going. Haven't really seen him out in space. Once he has the ball in his hands, he's a guy that can take it the distance. There he just doesn't have an opportunity to get his legs rolling. Rebels now second down and goal inside the 10.
Mentioned Davion Ross on that last stop. He's a really interesting story. A guy out of Sacramento State. He's playing in his 8th year of college football. 2 red shirts plus the COVID year. I think this is going to be it for him. Calandria drops back, throws a fade to the near sideline. Incomplete. Day Reynolds had it in and out of the hands. But good coverage, physical coverage as well. That's Niger Richards, who's made more of an impact in the second half than the first.
There, you got to give your receiver a chance. It looked like Reynolds little late on the throw, so eliminated the space. Reynolds is setting up for a jump ball there. Calandra leads him out of the end zone, unable to get his hands on it. I think maybe if you give that ball a 50-50 shot, Reynolds is in good position to go up and get it while the defender's kind of scrambling to get back into play.
Rebels trying to make it a 2-possession lead. 38-31, the Rebel advantage. 6:17 to go. 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line. Calandra takes the snap, but there's a timeout called by UNLV before that one can start.
UNLV will take their first charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Dan Mullen didn't like the look there. And in this situation, this one touchdown or even a field goal here could go a long ways. In a second half that has been tight, the Rebels in the second half leading by a 24-14 margin. Remember, they entered the halftime break trailing Idaho State by 3. I mean, Idaho State, win or lose, has shown a really impressive fight today under third-year head coach Cody Hawkins, no matter what.
Yeah, and they've got a puncher's chance against anybody they play. If their pass game is going to be that aggressive and that accurate at times, granted, there's some things that bailed them out, some penalties went their way, and some overturned calls that didn't happen, maybe that assisted them, but that's not taking anything away from what they are as an offense explosively. I think the surprise of this ball game was how efficient they were able to be on the ground game. And again, that could be just the nature of the game plan for the Rebels. Maybe the Rebels overlooking this opponent, not quite being ready for live bullets. This is a team that's learning a lot about itself, and it's all right. And Coach Mullen said, we got to figure out if we can play football. We still need game one to figure that out. They figured some things out here in the second half. Competitive ball game, but the Bengals can hold their hat regardless of the outcome.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 9. Glover in motion out of the backfield to the right. Calandria to pass. He is looking. He steps up in the pocket. He rolls to the right around the 20-yard line. He trips. He goes down. He is sacked deep in the backfield. That was Bronson Childs eventually ushering him down. And that'll move it all the way back to the 23-yard line.
It's great protection. You got to find somewhere to go with the ball. He had open opportunities. His eyes just weren't in the right spot at the right time. But that's a sack you absolutely cannot take. And from a guy who's taken great decisions all ball game long, 3rd and goal in that situation, you'd like to keep a chip shot field goal. But now as it stands, it's going to be a 41-yard attempt. A little bit less wiggle room here. Got to execute here on the field goal attempt.
It'll be Ramon Villa on the kick with 5:30 and counting to go in quarter number 4. This would make it a 10-point game. From 41 yards out, good snap, good hold, plenty of power. That kick is no good. Second missed field goal for UNLV today. And over the last maybe 6 seasons, the Rebels have had incredible luck with the kicking game. No such luck today.
Missed it the same way as the first field goal attempt, just pulling it left, not quite getting it pushed across the field. Plenty of leg. I think we have no issue with the depth from kicking. Maybe 50 or more is comfortable from the length standpoint, but the accuracy is just not there. And again, like you said, not something we're accustomed to is dealing with accuracy in the field goal game. Another thing that the Rebels have learned in this ball game, but now still a one-possession game. Defense asked to come out and do another stop.
Idaho State's got the ball at the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 with 5:20 to go. Cook keeps it himself. The quarterback on the run, gives himself up on a dive. He gets down to the 29-yard line. And a penalty, though, going to bring this one back.
Holding. Offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty. They made first down.
And that's the 3rd of the game on the right guard, Jorgen Miller. And out of the 9 penalties for the Bengals, 3 of them have come from their right guard alone.
Again, the holding penalties for an offense are one of the more crucial penalties. 10 yards from the original spot of the ball. So now 1st and 20 uphill battle. We've seen, though, these Bengals can overcome being behind the chains with this pass attack. So 1st and 20, really no cause for panic for this team.
It moves it from the 23 back to the 13. Ball spotted right in the middle of the field. Dason Brooks, the running back, is going to stay in on a pass play. A line drive throw to the near sideline. That's caught. And out of bounds goes Damian Morgan. How about that line drive out of the hand of Jordan Cook? And there's a lineman down in some pain in the backfield for the Bengals.
Grabbing down at that left knee does not look good. Gain of about 7 yards. Gets them close to the original line of scrimmage, but may have lost one of their offensive linemen. And for the most part, the Bengals have kept their quarterback clean. If they have to reach down the depth chart to their offensive line, who knows what that protection will look like. And there, hops up to his feet. Maybe cramping just the issue. It looked pretty bad initially, but now he's walking off the field under his own power. maybe not as big of an issue as we thought initially.
And that is Jorgen Miller, who had just had that penalty called on him. So the situation could have gone from bad to worse for him, but for the time being, he's walking off under his own power, and he looks good to go on that Idaho State sideline on the near side. So again, 38-31 UNLV with the lead. However, Idaho State has the ball with 5:02 to play. The clock stopped. They've got a 2nd down and 13 from their own 20 upcoming. And from the right hash mark, Jordan Cook takes over. And the Rebels look for one more stop on defense. Cook in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looking left. Now rolls to the right, airs it out for his running back, Brooks. It's complete at the 18. Brooks makes a man miss on the sideline, down to the 25, up past the 30. He gets past the 35-yard line for a 1st down and then some. A 16-yard catch out of the backfield, and it sets up 1st and 10 from the 36.
A well-timed screen play there. Rebels were ready for the field. Nobody reacted quick enough. Blessing Alualu Tuiolomote had the first shot at him, but missed tackle leads to about 10 yards after the catch.
4:40 to go and counting. The Rebels will send 4 on a pass play. Cook airs it up to the near sideline. He's looking for Shulikov. He reaches over a defender and makes a shoestring catch, tiptoeing inbounds at the Rebel 31-yard line. Shulikov has been the one-on-one go up and get it guy today at 6 feet 6 inches tall, and that's exactly what he did there, right over the top of the cornerback.
That is an impressive catch. You can't defend it any better there. Just a big guy going up and get it. Good offense always beats good defense. Couple of examples here from the Bengals against this man coverage of the Rebels.
And a timeout on the field.
The ruling of catch is under further review.
And there was a chance that that ball was bobbled and made contact with the ground. If at any point of that ball hits the ground, as the officials buzz down to review this, obviously something came up on one of those looks that there was a potential for it to touch the ground. Would be a big-time overturned completion call. But I tell you what, that's great coverage. And again, I say this a lot when you're talking about defense versus offense in the pass game. Sometimes you just call it a good rep. You've got a defender in Trey Fulton, who's in outstanding position there. Big receiver who's given a chance by the quarterback, who puts the ball up for grabs, 50-50 style. Both guys really fighting for good position. And the receiver just makes what looked like a spectacular catch. And you just tip your hat and say, good rep. And that's sometimes what you put yourself in a situation to have when you play man coverage. Rebels defensively have to find a way to come out on top in some of these 50-50 chances. But I tell you what, without those turnovers, you're looking at a guy and a quarterback in Jordan Cook who's having a lights-out game, right? With those 3 turnovers that he has, you would think that the Rebels would have put this one away. But because of the big plays, because of those completions that he has downfield to keep him alive in this game, he still gave his team a puncher's chance. And right now, he's got them on the move. With that completion, they'll be within striking distance to try to draw this game back to even.
And here's how costly those turnovers have been for the Bengals. Outside of that last drive where the Rebels had the turnover and then missed the field goal, UNLV has scored their last 3 times when turning the ball over. 17 points off of 4 Bengal interceptions today. And for that last matchup, Trey Fulton covering on Mike Shulikov. You don't often want your safety on a big-time guy like that.
After further review, the call on the field is upheld. 1st down, Idaho State.
Well, the call's going to stand on a gain of 33. It's going to say upheld. And Fulton at 6'3", the biggest of any defensive back listed on the 2 deep. And even though the catch was made over him, that's a matchup that the Rebels defense is fine with usually.
And it's tough because earlier in the game you had similar coverage where you were flagged for PI. So how aggressive are you when the ball gets to the point of the catch? Playing with your hands behind your back in some instances as a DB when you're in good position like that. But a 1st down and the Bengals on the move.
Trips punch to the left. Brooks, the running back, on the left side as well. Shulikov by himself on the right. The handoff goes right tackle. Cutting it back up the middle. Nowhere to go is Brooks. Alualu Tuiolomote held him up. And Lucas Conti came in and knocked him down for a loss of 1.
The Rebels have made an adjustment in their alignment. They start off again in that 4-1 look, which gives you a gap scheme that maybe you think is a favorable box as an offensive decision maker. So you make that decision to hand it off, but late that 4-2 comes in, and Marcel McDuffie and Blessing become the 2 linebackers in the middle and seals up some of the gaps on the inside.
Same formation again. Now a man in motion. That's Duarte, the receiver, from left to right. In a balanced formation. Cook drops back to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket. Airs one up near sideline, and it's out of bounds. He was just trying to get it away.
That's got to be grounding. He's not out of the pocket. He throws that away. There's no receiver in the area. He's ditching it to avoid the sack. That's got to be intentional grounding, and the officials are coming together to talk about it.
That's exactly what they're talking about here. It's one where they could just drop the flag on the field. And they will throw the penalty for intentional grounding.
There was no eligible receiver in the area. The quarterback was also inside the pocket. Therefore, by rule, that's a foul for intentional grounding. Offense, number 1. The penalty for that foul is also down to stall that foul. 4th down. Correction, 3rd down.
And the coaches on the sideline are arguing that the receiver ran the wrong route, and they can have that argument all the way. But the intention of the quarterback there was clearly to throw it away. The ball lands about 5 yards out of bounds. He's trying to avoid the sack. So the right call by the officials to get together and talk that one out. And now it's a 3rd down and 20 for the Bengal offense here after the penalty. Loss of down penalty. So the Rebels now have another fortuitous situation here. But we've seen in this quarter, on this drive, that the Bengals can overcome being behind the chains. We'll see what this 3rd down has in store.
3rd and 23 from the 44-yard line, well out of field goal range. Brooks off to the left hip of the quarterback. Cook takes the snap on 3rd and long. He'll look down the field. He'll check it up to the right side. That's incomplete over the head of his intended target, Kuleshov. Oluwalu, Tuiolomotu, and others on the coverage. And that brings up a 4th and 23. And for Idaho State, really no decision to be made here with 3:14 to play. They've got to go for it. This could be the game right here. Bengals 1 for 2 on 4th down today. One more stop could do it for the Scarlet and Gray. 38-31 the UNLV lead. It is 4th down and 23 to go. And a timeout called by Dan Mullen.
They took their 2nd charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
And they want to take a look at what Idaho State threw out there offensively and make the adjustment, whether it's personnel or scheme. But with 3:14 to play, Caleb, I don't think it is too much of a stretch to say this one play could decide the rest of the game.
I agree. And obviously you want to make sure you finish things out. You want to make this the last offensive play for the Bengals. You don't ever want to end the ball game with the other team's offense out on the field. But this is essentially the ball game. With the way that the Rebels have been able to run the ball and control the clock here in this ball game with the rushing attack, I think they can eke out a couple of 1st downs if they take possession back. Obviously, you want to go score points still. You don't want to sit on a 7-point lead, especially against an FCS opponent. You don't want that to be kind of the way you survive a ball game. But if it's necessary, it's necessary. But the business at hand, 4th and 23 here, coming up with the stop is priority number 1. Rebels got a peek at the formation that the Bengals wanted to line up in, and they were able to get a better scheme for it. Now they're communicating, trying to get the call in. Rebels frantically trying to get lined up.
Here we go, 4th and a mile. The Rebels have 6 men on the line of scrimmage. On 4th and 23, they'll send all 6. Cook rolling out to the right on a design waggle. He airs it up down the near sideline. 2 receivers in the area. It's incomplete. In and out of the hands of Quandarius Keys. He nearly pulled it down on an interception. But on 4th and a mile, he'll knock it down. And the Rebels take over at their own 44-yard line, trying to kill off the last 3 minutes and 6 seconds.
The Rebels roll the dice, again trusting their DBs in man-to-man coverage to go make the play in the secondary. Brought the pressure, got Cook off his mark, made him uncomfortable. Not just letting him stand back there and sit in the pocket tall and make his decision. Roll of the dice comes up green. Rebels come up with the 4th down stop. And now they have 3 minutes of football, hopefully to milk out here with the ball in their hands.
Idaho State does have all 3 timeouts remaining. But with 3 minutes and 6 seconds to go, a couple of 1st downs could wrap this up for UNLV. Elskins, the tight end on the left, along with Jaden Bradley. And on a play action, Calandria fakes left, rolls right. He finds Bradley at the 45. He's across the 50 into plus territory. Bumped out of bounds at the Bengal 45-yard line. That was the stop by Richards on another EOS 1st down. And the clock stops with 2:59 to go. Now it rolls as the ball is set.
Bradley may be a little lucky there. He wasn't completely set there as he was getting into his formation, but he's allowed to be in motion. So there's one player that's allowed to be in motion. He actually stepped back to make sure he was off the line of scrimmage. Officials sometimes can call that if they're being nitpicky, but because he was the only player in motion, I think they gave him the benefit of the doubt there. Results in a first play.
An
11-yard
catch, and now Idaho State's going to call a timeout. They let all that time wind down, another like a 25-second difference. And as they stop the clock with 2:32 to play, It'll be a quick timeout. Surprised if you're going to call one there that you don't call it early.
I think maybe a misunderstanding as to if Jaden Bradley was counted as going out of bounds.
We'll take the first charge time of the
there
half.
under his own will. The clock stopped initially on the first down. I think that Idaho State thought that Bradley ran out of bounds stopping the clock. And that's not the way that the clock management in college football works, right? It stopped briefly, so maybe he thought that they were going to give him the stoppage. But once those chains were set, it's a first down, that clock was going to start. So maybe that's the cause for why he was unaware that he wanted to use that timeout. Obviously now with a fresh set of downs, it's unusual to waste your first of 3 timeouts before the first down play. With the chains being reset now, essentially you can burn all 3 timeouts and it still be in the possession of the Rebels. If the Rebels run a play here, you call your second timeout. Second down, you burn your third. The Rebels will have the ball and they'll be able to start the clock.
You do have the 2-minute timeout as well.
The 2-minute timeout is one of those things maybe that he's playing with and trying to preserve that as a free timeout essentially. But a lot of time wasted while he was waiting to make that decision.
So 1st and 10 from the Bengal 45-yard line. Calandre hands it up to Thomas up the middle. He runs into the pile, moves the pile. He's still going, churning the legs. He's able to pick up 4 yards down to the 41. He was contacted at the line of scrimmage and just kept chugging.
We'll take their second charge time of the half. 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 2:33.
And that's essentially what they're trying to do. They're trying to get possession with that 2-minute timeout still a part of it. If you can control the clock offensively, maybe that's what you're trusting here as a team. But you're really putting all the marbles in front to your defense right now, putting a lot of pressure on your offense to be able to actually go down and do something without timeouts. But if the Rebels get a first down here, especially with the way that they're burning all their timeouts, it could be the ball game. So 2nd down and 6 after that great effort by Jaden Thomas, kept those legs sharp. We've talked about how he's not got the size. He's not the biggest back. He might be the smallest back in the running back room at this point, but he's able to fight through contact balance, something we talked about a lot with Ashton Genty, and deceptively powerful when he gets those legs driving. That's 5 yards of just effort by Jaden Thomas.
2 minutes and 33 seconds remain. Rebels lead it 38-31, 2nd and 6 from the 41-yard line. Rebels heading towards the north end zone, right to left from the press box. Calandre hands it off to Thomas. He goes off right tackle, cuts it back inside across the 40-yard line. He pushes the pile again and is tripped up. And that was Rylan Leathers on the stop. And the ball moved all the way down to the 37.
We'll take the 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds. Please reset the game clock to 2:27. 2:27.
And this is, again, the situation that you're talking about. It's 3rd down. The Rebels, either way, have the potential to start the clock and keep it running. Yes, they may run it all the way down to the 2-minute timeout, but they get that clock running. If they even get this first down, you're left with nothing to defend yourself with if you're the Bengals. And essentially, the Rebels can ice out the rest of the clock even after the 2-minute warning. It's a gamble. I get it as a coaching strategy. You really want to push those shifts. The Bengals are playing with a 9-man box right now, and Jaden Thomas and his offensive line are still able to find space and push the pile. There's a pile that kind of created a separate pile away from Jaden Thomas.
Yeah.
Jaden Thomas was down, and the rest of the offensive line kept pushing on a separate little scrum there. I thought the play was still alive, but 3rd and short, Rebels bring in Alex Orji, 230-plus pounder. He's going to be alone in the backfield to start.
He's got 2 tight ends right. He just sent Jet Thomas out as a receiver on the right. 2 receivers left are Earl and Bradley. The snap, direct snap, quarterback runs it. Orji runs through the pile. He's brought down after a gain of 5. He's able to punch it through for a first down. And the Rebels are going to wind this one down to the 2-minute timeout. And coming out of that 2-minute break, they're likely to wind this one all the way down. A huge, critical first down pickup on a 3rd down. And with 5 seconds to go until the 2-minute timeout, the Rebels just kind of hanging out on the field. And they now turn to the sideline, out in the victory formation in the shotgun. That is a sign of the times. Now Calandre are ready to go under center. We're going old school with the victory formation. It's the favorite play call of any offensive coordinator at any level of football. As Calandre takes the snap, takes a couple of steps back, and goes to a knee. He'll have to do that a couple more times, but Caleb, the Rebels look like they're going to survive a scare. 38-31 looks like it'll be our final score. Not quite where they had hoped the final result would be, but certainly plenty of things to pick from as far as real key points to focus on in the positive after week 0.
Yeah, there's plenty of positives. Obviously, you want to learn lessons and wins, and that's kind of what you could take. It's a scare rather than an upset, and that's what you really learned here. But you figured yourself out as a team as this game went on. You were challenged. You were tested. You overcame some major adversity, and you look like you're going to come out of here with a win. Not the way you wanted to perform. We knew there would be some kinks to work out. hopefully they get ironed out here in short order as the Rebels are back on the road on a short week, going on the road against Sam Houston next week. And they'll clean some things up in practice, maybe get healthier, maybe even dip a little deeper into the playbook and expand things a little bit if needed. But all in all, you learned a lot about your team. You see the potential of what they could be. Some of the plays they made defensively, some of the things you learned about their offense at the quarterback position, namely, who knows if a starter will be named. But you saw some things from both guys that give you reason to be excited about the things they can clean up and fix going on as the season progresses.
Anthony Calandria's got to take one more snap in a knee, and that'll wrap things up. Idaho State going on the road at Southern Utah next week as UNLV heads on the road this Friday against Sam Houston State in the first road game of the year. And as Calandria takes a knee, the Rebels will go on that road trip on a short week with a 1-0 record as Dan Mullen wins his debut at the helm of the UNLV program. First game he's coached in 1,372 days, ends in a win. And for a guy with 100+ career victories, this might be one of the sweeter ones as he returns from the TV booth to the sideline and leads UNLV to over 500 yards of offense, and most importantly, a 1-0 record.
Definitely knocked some rust off the old ball coach there, and maybe got his blood pressure a little more elevated than he would have liked. And you would have liked to go win this one